The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
What?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this big-time Tuesday, March 18th, 2025. This program starts now.
Madness!
Oh, it's happening tonight to play-in games to get into the dance. Obviously, it's been a hot topic to discuss around the sports world on who made the tournament, who didn't make the tournament. Well, we'll move past that tonight to see who earns their spot in the tournament, starting at 6:40 Eastern Time on True TV. Now, this is the time of year where we're finding where the hell channels are.
Yes.
Remember, this is a big deal. We're scrolling, we're finding. Oh, this used to be Impractical Jokers. I remember taking trips down here before. Okay, great to be back here. Then you also obviously have TNT, TBS, and I think that is...
CBS?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. And CBS in there. But nonetheless, we're going to be doing a lot of True TVing over the next few days. So tonight is a good time to find where the fuck that is.
That's right.
Okay, so let's get on board with that. Let's get excited as St. Francis and Alabama State kick everything off. Alabama State favored by 3.5. They got a good team. I've been watching film on this Alabama State team.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what, the way they move the ball.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And then they'll do one of these.
Oh, yeah.
And then they even got a guy who Kuzi.
No, whoa, easy.
And then you'll see somebody tonight.
that.
You'll see somebody tonight do one of these. Boom. They got one of the best one of these. Boom.
threat.
In all of college ball. And then bang, pow. And then that thing might rattle home. For some reason, they can't find just the net. They're working around the rim a lot.
Yeah.
But the ball does fall. That's why they're favored by 3.5. And then North Carolina, Bubba Cunningham School, if you do recall.
Mm-hmm.
West Virginia governor's not happy.
No, he's not.
Just would like to let everybody know he's not happy, but
Rightfully.
we don't need to talk about that at this exact moment. North Carolina Tar Heels favored by 4.5, taking on San Diego State. Now, this team out of San Diego, they do smack the wood. Toxic Cable at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. That's what you saw when you were watching film in the San Diego State squad.
Yeah, look, they're the underdog. And so I said, of course, we're betting on all the underdogs. And this is all I saw. I saw, holy shit, they go this way, they go this way.
Whoa.
And they're never like this. They never stay still, and their hands are never like this.
Are they always chopping? Always chopping?
It's a lot of this. It's a lot of that. Tim Robinson dancing in the living room. He's always moving, and so is this team. And it's also one of those teams, the 11 seeds, we all know, sometimes they go on a run. We saw UCLA a couple years
madness.
ago.
That would be madness.
You remember UCLA? They started as a play-in game.
Kid with the sweet hair.
Bingo, huge fro, and they made it all the way to the Final Four. And I believe one of those players as well is currently a superstar for the Miami Heat. So look, the 11 seed games, it's just a playing game. It's just a playing game. They're going to lose. Look out for these 11 seeds. Sometimes they go on those runs.
Hey, St. Francis versus Alabama State at 6:40 on True TV. Once again, that's good for all of us to get in there. UNC versus San Diego State, 9:10 on True TV.
Lake tip.
We're gonna stay up for that one because we're all mad about UNC getting in the tournament. Okay, nobody's more mad than the governor of West Virginia.
Nope.
Okay, now granted, is he listening to his constituents and reacting accordingly? I'd say so. Is this the fastest you've ever seen a governor put something together?
That's out.
I think so. Is it also the best podium you've ever seen for a speech from a sitting governor to the NCAA? I think so. Check. Will it get anything done? Certainly not. But maybe changes what it looks like in the future. Here's a couple tidbits from Governor Morrissey's press conference about the National Corrupt Athletic Association, as it says right on his podium.
111 out of the 111 bracketologists projected WVU to make the tournament. and for good reason. The selection committee for years has talked about the importance of quad one wins. Now, for those who don't know much about a quad one win, this is when you defeat a team ranked 1st through 75th. Obviously, it depends upon whether you're home, neutral site, or away.
Of course, McAfee.
Well, West Virginia had 6 quad one wins.
That's a lot.
And that was combined with an undefeated record against quad 3 and quad 4 opponents. 3 wins against top 10 teams and the 24th toughest schedule in America. West Virginia deserved to be in the NCAA tournament.
That's right.
This was a miscarriage of justice and robbery at the highest levels.
Hell yeah.
Now, who was the last team to get into the tournament?
Who was it? Turn the lights
Ahead of
on.
the Mountaineers. That would be the University of North Carolina.
Oh, interesting.
Now, let's see how their resume stacks up.
Oh, let's look at it, go.
The Tar Heels went 1-12 in quad 1 games and even had a quad 3 loss.
Really?
And we keep hearing about the importance of these quad 1 wins, but UNC couldn't even get more than 1. They also had the 25th toughest schedule in America, right behind WVU.
Really? So, Governor Morrissey saying, you tell me. He also had a quote in there about North Carolina having representation in the room in Bubba Cunningham and the way this kind of worked out. And he said, I would like to talk about the robbery at the largest or highest level. And I think what is happening here, and I reached out to some people that, have close ties to West Virginia, still live in West Virginia, still have family in West Virginia. I think they all go, don't love that it's us, but had to be done. And it feels like we're the right team in the right time to do it. Now, is there, politicking happening whenever there's any type of selecting taking place amongst humans? Yes. I mean, that is just a matter of fact. You go back to all the BCS bowl games, how problematic it was. You go to the 4-team playoff. You go to just the national championship. You go to now the 12-team playoff. You go to this tournament every single year, the bubble teams. Anytime there's humans making decisions, there's always going to be an opportunity for relationships or maybe agendas or feelings about something or maybe a narrative that you don't even know is coming from person's experiences. That takes place in discussion. That's why, jury of your peers is such an important thing, because you got a lot of people sitting around coming to a decision. It's like everybody has a different angle. What's the angle? And the fact that, North Carolina's guy is leading the entire committee. He's the chair of the selection committee. And then his team, and then now there's $104,000 or $70,000, whatever the bonus actually is, going into his pocket. It's like you're setting yourself up for somebody to say, what the fuck's going on here? Is the right things the main focus for this particular group, or are the right things the main focus for this particular group? And I'll be excited to see what comes of it. I obviously can't turn it around before tonight.
Yeah.
North Carolina's in it.
Maybe, though.
You never know.
I mean, Governor Morrissey seemed to be pretty quick, pretty direct. How'd they get that thing created so fast? That was high quality. That wasn't just like paper really taped on.
That was old buddy over his shoulder.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you can't hear what he's saying, you can certainly see what he's about. Mm-hmm. If you're just watching this on the TV as you're walking by, National Corrupt Athletic Association. Okay. Mm-hmm. I like what's going on here. And then somebody probably says, yeah, that's the governor of West Virginia. The governor is standing in front of this. And who's that other guy? Well, that guy's on his side. Mm-hmm. Okay, we don't know who that guy is. Got a good suit on. Good ties, too. Both of them in uniform. Looks like they dress the same. They are ready to do battle. And will this make the selection committees more transparent? Will this let us in the room when the conversations are taking place? So at least there's a little bit of accountability for whenever people are pitching whatever it is? Maybe, but I don't know what the right answer is. And I would assume since the beginning of time when humans have got together to make a decision about things and left people out, there's always been fuckery.
Yeah.
I assume there always has been because that's just how humans operate. But if it can get a little bit better from this, I think more power to old Governor Morrissey. And he is no stranger to suing the NCAA. He did this as the Attorney General a few years back. We had him on the program. It was about the transfer rule. Now with the modern NIL, some labor law was being broke because if a guy can make $1 million over here and he can only make $300,000 here, you not letting him go there to do that infringes on his employment and wage opportunity and yada, yada, yada. So he sued the NCAA, actually got a ruling, changed the way the NCAA is currently operating, also is now a part of trying to figure out how we get the NCAA to operate in 2025. So this dude knows his way around a courtroom and a lawsuit against the NCAA, and I think that's probably why he's in his bag, because this is his first term as governor for West Virginia, so he needs to put a score, he needs to put a dub up somewhere. And for the people of West Virginia going like, we should be the ones. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? The NCAA is going to hold this against us? Well, what are they going to do? Make us the biggest snub in the history of the March Madness tournament? Oh, that just happened. And we lost our fucking coach because of it, probably. So West Virginia, interesting spot, but potentially a pivotal moment here when it comes to selection committees for the NCAA going forward. Football, basketball. I don't know if any of the other tournaments have selection committees. I assume they're taking place in other places. But maybe there's a little bit of a change here. But nonetheless, the madness has begun, potentially in a courtroom with the governor and the National Corrupt Athletic Association. And tonight, the madness begins on the court. And this is still a wonderful time of year. Even though I'm a West Virginia fan pulling for West Virginia, it's like, all right, now what's my team in the tournament? Let's live for the next couple weeks alongside of them. And hopefully they go on a run. And hopefully we learn some great stories from this particular March Madness, which is normally the case.
Well, and that's why we latched our wagon to St. John's, because they will be going on a run all the way to the Final Four. But that was kind of the difference with the NCAA and the college football playoff. Like, at least there was a face of that committee and kind of came out and explained why, certain teams got in, certain teams didn't, because we dealt with that for how long during the football season about, South Carolina and Ole Miss and those teams that were right on the edge.
Bama.
Yeah, Bama. That lasted a little while, but at least because there was a face of it at the end of it, and I forget his name, but he did an interview with Reese on the show immediately after the college football playoff was announced. Like, at least
Lieutenant General.
Yeah, bingo. But there isn't that for basketball. It's just kind of the only thing we heard about the committee was that one of the guys in it was the AD.
No, the guy in charge of it.
The guy in charge of it, yeah, sorry. It was the AD of North Carolina.
So there's this other guy, Keith, that was next to him. Reese Davis interviewed, I think his name was Keith or Kevin. I do apologize. Bubba's name is being the one saying, hey, this guy leads the entire thing. There was somebody else with Bubba doing this interview, but they were the ones that were saying, like, Bubba wasn't in the room when UNC was discussed.
It's like defending him only.
Yeah, it's like, okay, all right. Wasn't in the room that day. All right, hey, let Bubba back in. But we have a couple questions. Do you think your team, well, he can't, because I can't be a part of that discussion. It's like, that's a weird thing. But in football, there's people that have allegiance. I think Michigan's AD.
Yeah, Ward Manuel was there.
Yeah, people are like, the ADs can't be in there. It's like, okay, well, who are we putting in there? Who are we putting in there? Media. Well, we can't put media in there, right? Because media has bias as well.
Yeah.
Can't put coaches. Like, who can we put in the committees? I think that is the next question about, like, I don't know if there's ever going to be a point where there won't be conspiracy fodder.
Mm-hmm. No.
And I don't know if there ever will be, because, like, once again, humans are going to act in their own self-interest whenever they are speaking. And not all humans. I understand. I believe Mother Teresa, she did not act in her self-interest at all.
Sure.
Or Dalai Lama.
Of course, the Buddha.
The Buddha. From what I've heard, the Buddha, no self-interest. But you would think in those selection committees, if you want to have that type of power, you probably have some sort of moxie. You probably have some sort of...
Got there somehow.
Ego, pride. You probably have some sort of... it's going to be tough to eliminate all conspiracy fodder, even though this one is the biggest of all time. So hopefully this will pivot and change and make it a little better.
Well, and that's what, like, a lot of people are saying, like, hey, maybe you get, like, a retired athletic director. But that's the thing with college athletics is, like, the fan bases are rabid. So, like, it's not like, if you're an NFL fan and you're a fan of a team, you could maybe be, like, a little, kind of more even keel. Like, these people are always going to go to bat for the schools that they went to or that they're a fan of, and you can't.
Which is what makes college sports.
Exactly, it's what makes it great. It's why everyone loves it, and you can't really have just like these people also need to know basketball, because if they're going to trot out all this like quad 1, quad 2, quad 3, quad 4, that's going to be part of the selection process. You can't just have some slapdick in there who's just like, you know what, North Carolina's always good, we should put them in. Like, the person actually has to watch college basketball, has to know what's going on. But you're right, like there's never going to be a time where there's not an instance like this, because it's probably going to happen next year. There's going to be
every year.
Exactly. There's going to be an AD of a school, and maybe they'll win their conference championship, so it won't be a big deal. But there's also a chance that, the AD, their team's going to be on the bubble, and they're going to recuse themselves from the conversation again, and then come right back in and be like, so do we get in or what?
Yeah, so what you got to say? You got to speak nicely? Remember, I can get you off this.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't do that, obviously.
But I could.
Yeah. 2 votes. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just like... I don't know how they fix it. Once we got baptized into the college football world over the last few years of College Game Day, it's like whenever we start trying to figure it out, and it's like, I don't know if this one. Like, obviously, fans of teams are thinking their team's always either going to get screwed, right? Like, that is what fans are thinking. But whenever we're in the middle of it and we're hearing, like, every angle of everything, it's like, I don't know how they ever get the right answer. Everybody thinks it's just TV. It's like, if the TV people wanted everything. Now, granted, UNC would certainly be one of the schools because of the uniform. But it's like, whenever it came to the football, it's like, there's like 6 different, there's like, there's a lot of different potential avenues they could go. Everything can be a story, which is why sports are great.
Yes.
And it's also why college ball is fantastic. But I don't know how they fix any of it.
We just need to teach AI ball. That's the only way to do it.
See, I've seen people say Las Vegas should be doing all of it for both sports.
Okay, so if the books pick the favorites and who they think would win, that's not a bad idea. But then you don't think those bookies have a favorite? You don't think the odds makers have favorites as well? If they start realizing that they're the fucking, like, okay, we get a lot of action on this team, just fucking put them right up there. Like, then there's an angle for the odds makers on why they're doing it. There will never be.
No.
And if it's AI, well, who coded it? Because now we'll start seeing Stanford get it.
Yeah, it's Stanford crap.
Okay, hold on. There's just a never-ending supply of things. So that's why you just got to hope you get the right group in there.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately, you just got to hope that you get a right group of people in there.
There just needs to be a commissioner for every sport in college that has, this many eyes on it. Like, that was kind of the takeaway from the college football, was like, they need a commissioner. And how many times do we tell Saban, like, hey, you need to be the commissioner of college football? Because without just having that one supreme leader, like we talk about in, the NFL, in every organization, there's a supreme leader of that team. And you kind of need that when it comes to college sports, because at least then you are pointing at one person. Like the Goodell scripted thing, people buy into that, but we know obviously that is just
the amount of humans that would have to be in on that.
Exactly. And the scapegoat, like, that is such an easy thing to be like, oh, my team got screwed, this is scripted. Like, at least here, or not at least, rather, like, in this situation, it's more so like, okay, well, this is a very valid, hey, the reason UNC got in is because of this AD. Like, at least with a commissioner, it's more so like, oh, this guy sucks, hate this guy, but it's not as if he's biased to one team or not. With an AD of a school being the leader of the committee deciding, it's like, okay, this legitimately could be collusion at the highest order, screwing over, teams like West Virginia and Indiana and Ohio State,
Yeah, do they take notes of everything said in there? Like, what's that called in those notes?
Stenographer?
Yeah, stenographer's the typer, but what are
taking the minutes?
The minutes, there it is. Do they have the minutes of these things? Because that would be like, in his Governor Morrissey going, I'm just asking for discovery of the minutes. I would like to see who was where, when, and who said what. Okay, and why. I'd like to also know why they did. And then if, we all get a chance to kind of see in the room where it happened, I think that'll be good for the future. Nonetheless, let's move along. Madness begins tonight, 6:40, True TV. Find True TV.
Let's go.
It's going to be a wonderful tournament. They're saying this is the most talented college basketball tournament that there's ever been.
Yeah.
Now, are they saying that just because the SEC has so many teams in there? Or are they saying that potentially because the SEC has gotten very, very good? So more good teams are happening. More good coaching, more good recruiting, more good players on different teams. Just like in football, you think about the Vanderbilt story. Vandy added Diego Pavia, and their entire culture just shifted and changed. So they got in there. Basketball, that can certainly happen in NIL. You bring one great player, maybe you get 2 great players that you're able to afford, you can completely change everything. So they're saying this tournament is going to be magical. We cannot wait to watch the madness. We'd like to send our congratulations to BG, Brandon Graham of the Philadelphia Eagles. He has announced his retirement.
Yeah.
There was a post earlier today that we saw that was kind of alluding to maybe he was done playing football for a living. And we'd like to say to Brandon Graham on the multiple Super Bowls and obviously the toughness of bouncing back this particular Super Bowl. So he knew, Yeah, he knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, because him coming back was a wild part of the story.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Like, is Brandon Graham actually gonna, that sounds like an injury that's on, yep, next week we'll get it. They open his window, then bang, he's back for the Super Bowl. I bet you Brandon Graham probably knew that this was potentially going to be his last game. What a great way to go out on top. Congratulations to him for that. And also showcasing a toughness and a grittiness that nobody will ever be able to question. I think Philadelphia now loses Jason Kelsey last year. Then they lose Brandon Graham, Cox as well. I mean, it's like the next generation of Philadelphia Eagles is in a very good spot, obviously, but it's not easy to pass the torch. Brandon Graham obviously moving along. Hell of a career, bub.
Yeah.
Hell of a career over there.
He also retore his tricep in that Super Bowl. So
I don't think it was ever So,
Ever healed.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever healed. So, like, I think there was a scan saying that it was a torn tricep coming after that game.
No matter what.
Yeah.
Which is dog. That's just like who's due for the Panthers linebacker? 13.
Thomas Davis.
Thomas Davis had like 13 in his forearm.
Looked like a football.
I watched Dwight Freeney have a broken ankle, and literally dudes were showing up in gis, body experts, to work on his ankle. I think it was 20 hours a day they were getting treatment on his ankle. He ends up with a sack in the Super Bowl just to win a Super Bowl. The things people do, just T.O. with his that's awesome. Just an incredible way to go out. Congrats to him. Not a lot of guys win a Super Bowl in bats.
No.
That is that's great. Ray, obviously. Jerome Bettis did it in his hometown with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Brandon Graham did it. I mean, there's
Peyton.
I'm sure there's Peyton. I'm sure there's others that have done it, but that's the dream scenario, I think, that everybody's kind of looking for.
Yeah, kind of a crazy year for Brandon Graham, too, because remember during the year when he kind of broke the news about A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts not being friends.
Accidentally.
Accidentally just mentioning that in a radio interview, and then for them to still kind of hang on and go win the Super Bowl really is storybook.
Let's talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously, they have invested mightily in the trio on offense. That is Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. The graphics and the posts are coming in abundance.
Oh, hell yeah.
Cincinnati Bengals already putting out a post of boys. Obviously, this trio right here is going to lead Cincinnati Bengals into the next era and maybe back into the relevancy of the Super Bowl conversation. Obviously, an immense amount of talent, can win any game on the offensive side, can beat any defense for sure. What will they do with the rest of the roster to get back to the top? Would love to see these three win a Super Bowl. That post was certainly something. Whenever it came across everybody's feed, a lot of people were wondering what's going on here. But I think what they were doing is just they were around something. And they were kind of just all looking in there.
Yep.
But the Bengals understand what they have, and I love the move of paying both these wide receivers. Now, they're going to have to hit. But I think Duke Tobin has the ability to be able to do so. Them saying, we want to be able to have our guys and be able to move the ball is a full strategy decision, knowing that you're going to have to hit on everything else. And if they can revamp on that defensive side, they'll be able to score against anybody. It's like, why not the Bengals? Why not this move? A lot is going to be questioned, obviously, about this much of the salary cap towards the offensive finesse football, as opposed to running the ball, which the Eagles just did, and they win, obviously, a Super Bowl alongside doing it. But Cincinnati Bengals, if they have the best offense on the field, on any field, they feel like they can win a game. And it's like, why not? I'm excited to watch them go and do it.
And you wonder how much of this had, Joe Burrow was very, very loud publicly saying, hey, I want my guys here. I want us to get deals done. And with everything that happened with Carson Palmer, them kind of him basically getting to a point where he was like, hey, I'll retire before I play for this franchise again. So you can keep me here or get rid of me or whatever, but I'm never going to be a Bengal again. You obviously got to do whatever you can to keep Joe Burrow happy and make sure that he's going to be around for as long as he will be.
I'd counter that. What is Joe Burrow supposed to say?
True.
True. Joe Burrow's doing interviews, so I guess he needs to know that he's going to be asked this. But it's Joe Burrow is always going to go to bat for his guys because Joe Burrow is an Ohio guy. He's a quarterback. When Joe Flacco was asked if he thinks he was elite, it's what the hell is Joe Flacco supposed to say? I think I'm average, with his little accent that he has. Obviously, he's going to say he's elite. So when he's asked about T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, it's I think he's obligated to say good things, but I don't think he's obligated to say need to have them back, like you were mentioning. He has gone out and said, we need both these guys back. Now, he can obviously message it differently if he just wanted to give, the politically correct answer and put over his guy. I assume he was even surprised they got the deals done.
Probably.
I assume Joey Burrow was I did not think that this was possible. I don't think many people did think it was possible to get both of the deals done, especially over $100 million for both of them.
Yeah, didn't think it was possible. Didn't think it made sense. But it goes back kind of to the Tennessee game.
Jeez, you don't know.
No, I don't. But it goes back to the Tennessee game. Do you remember that scene on the sideline of Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow? And they're about to win the game. They're up by multiple scores. But, Joe Burrow is basically talking about, this is embarrassing. Who knows what he was talking about. But I feel like we just kind of saw what the Bengals look like with without the defense, because that was the big thing when they went to the Super Bowl was how good Jesse Bates, and I think that was the first year they had Trey Hendrickson. So I think that's more so why it is, head scratching. But hey, it's going to be electric football. Tom Telesco's been on here before talking about the Chargers. Like, hey, the brand of football that we want is high flying, scoring a lot of points. Mike Williams,
Staley. You were talking about the Staley era.
Yeah, a few years ago when he was on here talking about their brand, and that's the Bengals brand. Like, it's going to be incredibly entertaining watching them every single week.
Yeah, and it's there's going to be some backdoor covers coming against the Bengals. But hey, maybe they go and win. Joey Burrow's a winner. Mm-hmm. Jamar Chase is a winner. Higgins is a winner. Feels like the Bengals have won before. Tough AFC North, but why not go and get it?
Tough, and everyone's comparing them. They're saying like, oh, they're building themselves like the Colts when they had Peyton and Marv and Reggie. But I was like, I felt like the defenses were a lot better, so I looked it up. The year that you guys went to the Super Bowl, the defense was ranked 8th. The year before that, it was 7th. The year before that, it was 1st. There was a 2nd in there. Now, the year they did win the Super Bowl was 23rd, so there was like the outlier in there. But those Colts defenses were good. Like, those were not like
Colts defense is, yeah, absolutely. But the way the Colts defense was built, and they have a situation in Cincinnati right now, is we're going to get the lead, and then we're going to get the quarterback, But currently, Trey Hendrickson is potentially getting traded or not. So getting to the quarterback becomes very vital, especially if your offense can move, because they're going to have to keep up. Now, granted, there's going to be teams that are just going to continue to run. I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles down 2 scores, they're still handing that ball off. But the old adage is if you get a lead, the other team's going to feel like they're going to have to catch up. So they're going to be throwing the ball a little bit more. You take them out of control, controlling the game and the game clock. So I think Bill Polian's idea was, let's get a good offense. Let's get the lead, and then we'll have Dwight Freeney, Robert Mathis get. And then they had Bob Sanders roaming back there for a while. Had smart players everywhere. It was.
They also did it in a dome.
Yeah, a little different animal. Yeah.
Also invested heavily in the offensive line.
Yeah, had the boys there for a while. What a crew! That was a great group. I don't think they get talked about much, but they had like the best offense there for a while, like 10 years straight.
Oh,
They don't really get talked. Jeff Saturday gets chatted about, obviously. Charlie Johnson, Ryan Deem, Lilja. They can hammer some beers too, that crew.
I bet.
They could really do it. That was a fun group. They were a good group. Hey lads, you did good. If you're watching. Charlie Johnson, left tackle, he was awesome. He was a cool dude, card player. So got along with him. I saw him at a WWE event. I hadn't seen him in probably, 8, 9 years maybe. And I'm sitting at the commentary table, and there's some massive human being sitting over here, with his family, and it's like third row, and I'm looking over and I see this thing, and I'm like, holy shit, that's Charlie Johnson. And I'm like, so I try to look at him. He looks over at me one time, and I go, Charlie, what? Good to see you. And he goes, what up, man? I'm like, why didn't you just? And he goes, don't want to bother. And I'm like, great to see you. It is great to see you. Family, everybody, it's such a different, it's crazy to watch everybody kind of grow and get older, and kind of mature, I guess is what they say. But that offensive line never gets talked about. No. I do appreciate the fact, though, that maybe that is the model. I think they're also thinking about what the Eagles did. I mean, the Eagles paid 2 wide receivers, paid a quarterback. Yeah. They were able to pay a running back. They had a defense, though, that they just drafted straight out of Georgia.
Yep.
They just said, hey, we're going to go straight to Georgia. Give us that defense. We'll see how they play in the NFL, and it's going to work out. You just have to hit on your drafts. Now, let's talk about Philadelphia. Lane Johnson has restructured his contract. Way to go, Lane-O! Lane-O! Obviously, multiple Super Bowl champion. People talk about this guy as being one of the GOATs, if not the GOAT, right tackle in the NFL. $40 million guaranteed over the next 2 years. Good for him. 6-time Pro Bowler. An absolute stud. I mean, just an absolute stud out of Oklahoma. And whenever you think about that offensive line, obviously you think about how great they are, but Lane Johnson is obviously a pillar, an actual pillar of that offensive line. Nick Sirianni knows that. Obviously Howie knows that. Jeff knows that. Bradley Cooper probably had to sign off on this deal. Yeah. And Lane Johnson restructures his contract to be able to give them a little bit more money over there in Philadelphia. They're always working. Feels like they always get it right, those Philadelphia Eagles.
No doubt about it. And kind of the reputation that they have now, they pay their players. Lane also now becomes that Brandon Graham kind of Kelsey role where he is now the longest tenured Eagle left on the team. So he is kind of that elder statesman. Not that he wasn't before, but now he is number 1 on that list. And, especially in that division with Micah Parsons, kind of everything that the Commanders, they're linked to Trey Hendrickson if they do get traded. Like those tackles, him and Mailata, they're kind of like the stalwarts of that offensive line now.
Mailata mic'd up is awesome.
Oh, yes.
Singing on the field.
Great moxie.
Great. The whole lane, same exact.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, people want to invest in everything. You have a good offensive line, your team's going to win games. That's just, doesn't matter who's your quarterback. Has to be an NFL quarterback. Can't be a UFL quarterback. Are they still?
They might still be picking.
Are they holding out? Do we know if
I haven't seen.
Me neither.
I think so.
Hey, listen, UFL boys, respect that you're like, yeah, give me my read the room.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that as somebody that watches UFL. I'm just saying, like, the only thing that's been reported at UFL is he's lost like $40 million or something like that. Wasn't that?
A lot of money.
It was like the most thing.
I got great news.
They stopped their holdout?
Yeah, they returned to camp.
Hey, that boys. Thank you for doing it. They read the room.
It was a 5-day holdout.
Will they get some free Gatorade?
$7 million each.
Okay.
Yeah, I bet they did.
Yep.
Okay. Congrats to the UFL guys.
Maybe a cameo in one of Dwayne's new movies?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to get into it. There's a lot of that happening in the world right now.
Sure.
Like, hey, just read the room a little bit. But nonetheless, Lane Johnson gets paid. Congrats to him. I love everything about Lane. You build up your offensive line. That's why there's a lot of new mock drafts coming out. And Will Campbell's not even in the top 10, right? Mm-hmm. Will Campbell was solidified first rounder. Basically, everybody's saying out of LSU. This guy's the next one. This is the one. And runs sub 5.0 at the combine. Showcases he's an athlete. His arms measure a little shorter, though, than they want. Now new mock drafts are out, and Will Campbell's not even in the top 10. And I just got done doing a whole speech about if you have a good offensive line, you're going to win games. It's interesting what's happening right now.
Yeah, he's 13th in Kuipers and 10th in Daniel Jeremiah's. In Kuipers in general, there was not an offensive lineman in the top 10. Membu was the first one at 11. DJ did have Membu going 7 to the Jets. So it feels like, it's a little bit of a down year for the offensive linemen in this draft. That's probably why you saw so many teams taking risks on linemen we didn't know about in free agency. But as far as the draft goes, it's not the best offensive lineman year that we've had in a while.
Congrats to all the offensive linemen during free agency, especially those first couple of days. A lot of money going to a lot of guys we never heard of. Mm-hmm. And good for them. I mean, I'm very, very happy for them. But there was a lot of dudes that had like 200 snaps. Hey, you're getting paid as if you're now left tackle 1. We're going to trade this guy. Who's that guy? He's swing guy? How's he getting $20 million? It's like, well, I guess because the draft class potentially down. Somebody that might know a little bit more about that. A man who has absolutely dominated the draft, even though at one point people said he said, fuck these picks. Mm-hmm. He's a Super Bowl champion. He's been able to lead the Los Angeles Rams through a all-in phase and then a, hey, we got a develop phase. They got a young team right now, but they have a couple old core pillars. They were just one play away potentially from beating the Super Bowl champs, Philadelphia Eagles, in the playoffs. They get Matthew Stafford back. They trade for Davante Adams. Puka Nacua is still on their team, so the vibes are going to be high. The general manager for whose house? Rams house, Les Snead.
Yeah, Les.
How you doing, man?
How's it going?
You look super cool.
You know what? I was listening to y'all. I think if you know an offensive lineman's name, usually that's he's jumped off sides or he's had a bad holding call or some unbelievable defensive end like Myles Garrett has ripped him for a sack on 3rd down. So it's probably good that you don't know their name.
Yeah, I think so too. You're right. That's like long snappers don't know them unless they send one over somebody's head. Offensive linemen, you don't know unless they get cooked. I respect that attitude. You had to build up your offensive line though, Les. So let's talk about you in building your team, because obviously we respected the hell out of you going all in. Okay, we're bringing in Matthew Stafford. Obviously, we got Aaron Donald. Jalen Ramsey's coming over here. You went all in trying to win, and you did. Wins a Super Bowl in Los Angeles whenever there was, who's going to be the team of this city, especially when it's hosting a Super Bowl. And then everybody talks about kicking the can down the road. Inevitably, that can's going to come to fruition. It did, and you have transitioned now into drafting a younger team, a core team that's going to be able to come up. Do you think that is accurate, that there's 2 different ways that you have to build a team? And in your mind, is the draft the most important part of the bounce back after you kick can down the road, as they say with the salary cap?
Oh, definitely. I think you could call it. There's many ways we've seen it happen where you look at all the teams that actually cashed in, right? Won the trophy, was able to do the city parade. There's a lot of ways to do that, but I do think there's an element of cyclicalness to it. There's a cycle where teams are going to go through. It's different from or similar to college football, right? Where maybe you have this senior class. Maybe you're Michigan when Harbaugh had his senior class, and then all of a sudden this year they go to a younger class. So it probably depends on what phase what window, what stage you're in as a team.
We'll continue this football talk, but I thought that was a picture of you that like somebody drew on your wall there. Why do I have such a good jawline right there on your wall over your left shoulder?
You know what this is? I'm in Artist Twyman's office, and I believe we have someone. It works in our studios. She's an artist, and anytime artists allow someone to do a Zoom here, she likes to, let's call it paint, draw, scribble the picture of whoever they think's the most important person on the Zoom call.
Okay, so, all right.
In this case, it's you. Think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's kind of a linebacker look. You know, it's not necessarily a punter look. Yeah. Kind of if you'd gone to West Virginia.
Yeah.
Played inside backer.
What?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, not tough enough, but what? It does have that feel with that jawline. I like artists. You know, shout out to artists. Hey, I'm a big fan of artists. Mm-hmm. You let artists know I respect him. We were not always on good terms. I think that might have been a one-way street. Then at the Super Bowl, got a chance to chat with him. Good lad. He's a good man. And you let him know.
Isn't it good when you come together, you put your differences on the table? You know what? Come up with the parameters of the partnership, and you know what? Let's work this out. So,
okay.
So you know what he told me, though? He told me it all started with a Johnny Hekker kind of misunderstanding.
No.
And I was thinking about when Johnny just signed with the Titans. I mean, wow, what a guy's 35. What a career he's had.
Yeah, crushed it at Carolina as well. We're talking about hitting bombs over there. Obviously, for you guys at the Rams, he becomes one of the greatest of all time, and he continues at the Tennessee Titans. He's going to love it down there. You know, if they can get a squad, he's going to love Nashville. And speaking of loving people, let's get back to that. You talked about, you know, coming to parameters, sitting down, putting it to the side, right there with me and Artis, which we certainly did at the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford. Okay, let's talk about this situation. He was open to go explore opportunities, I believe is how it was being worded. Is that so you can test out, hey, what is a fair market value? What is the market saying? And then when you inevitably sit down with him, and I assume Sean McVay's there as well, what is that conversation to continue on and continue to win another Super Bowl for the Rams?
Yeah, it was definitely a unique experience. It was really fruitful, very rejuvenating to all of us. And I think at the end of the day, the partnership with the franchise QB, right, is a nickname, franchise QB. And it there comes with parameters and there's trade-offs with those parameters. But at the end of the day, we're partnering, right, to go on this journey to chase great, to chase good, to be better than good. And there's some stress and drudgery with that. But each year since the Super Bowl, once we came back and redid his contract, and once the contract, and he's still under contract, and we come back every year, there's this element of working through some of those parameters, those trade-offs. And sometimes there's an element of friction there when you go through those situations. The neat thing about that month, even though it was a grueling month to work through. Hey, are we going to trade Matthew? Is Matthew going to want to go somewhere else? Is he going to want to come back here? At the end of the day, everyone, Matthew, his family, Sean, our coaching staff, myself, our organization, we all realized, you know what? We really want to take on this journey together. And it was a cool to let's call it rekindle our relationship, get rejuvenated to go chase great. Because there's stress and drudgery that comes with chasing great, especially when you're a franchise QB.
Yeah, especially when you're as great as Matthew Stafford is, and obviously with how great he has played. And Sean McVay's offense is spectacular, and I think the way he and Sean have worked together has been awesome for the Rams. Obviously has been very fruitful. Allegedly, he was offered like $100 million guaranteed to go somewhere else. So whatever the drudgery and conversation and rekindling that you guys had, seems like it was great. Allegedly, he turned down tens of millions. Everybody hates moving, which I assume you did hammer home a couple times, but I think watching him go back made me feel like, okay, that's a real family over there. That's a real family.
It was, no doubt. And the stress and drudgeries is the journey, right? The climb. It's a steep hill every year. But again, there can be some friction when you're going through, okay, what are going to be the parameters of what we're, let's call it paying the QB, and also, hey, we're trying to build a team around him, so let's go chase greatness. That's where some of the friction comes into it. But at the end of the day, as we went through that month, you know what? It worked out, and we're all jacked to be partnering.
Him walking in, $100 million guaranteed they're offering me. I'm 37 years old, brother.
Tough to say no to that.
Yeah, what do you, that's an interesting give and take. Happy you ended up where you are. Now, I can't wait to watch him work. Now, Cooper Kupp obviously is a member of the Seattle Seahawks. He goes home. You guys had a great run together. You've said nothing but respectful things about him, and he has said the same back. Now, you bring in Davante Adams, who is, I think, eager to get back into relevant football. Why was Davante Adams a guy that you wanted in your building? And Sean McVay cutting up highlights and voicing over them and sending them to him while he's recruiting them, is that always a part of your guys' process to get people to become members of the Rams? Genius shit.
Oh yeah, Sean would do really well in college football. Maybe not in the NIL era, but back in the old days when you really recruited. I do know this: when you're a player and you really prioritize being really good at football, and you appreciate the let's call it the collective and what comes with winning. Sean's really good at connecting with those players, because Sean's going to mention and he's going to outline how we're all going to go chase that greatness we were talking about. So that's and Davante just brings a skill set to the element. I mean, to our table. It's the next iteration of what we want to do as Sean and his staff have worked through where we've been, where we're trying to go, what we're trying to accomplish, how you're adjusting to the league, how the league's adjusting to the defending you. The enemy has a say sometimes, and Sean, his staff, is always trying to stay ahead of that.
Gosh. Your messaging, man. It's like, hey, this is how we operate. It's very clear that you guys have a direction over there in Los Angeles. You and Sean being on the same page is, I think, key to all of it. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, speaking of that, what is your relationship like with Coach McVay? Obviously, he's very passionate and kind of intense, and it seems like someone kind of needs to match his energy in order to get along with him for as long as you guys have. So what is that relationship, whether it's personal or your working relationship, like with him on a day-to-day basis?
I mean, it's really special. One of my favorite ones on planet Earth, as we've gotten in the bunker and tried to do hard things together. So here's a great story, and I tell Sean this all the time. We hired him when he was 30 years old, and that story's been written, right? You reverse engineer it, and it's like a no-brainer. Should have hired him when he was 29. I've often kidded with Sean. There's no doubt we've changed your life for the good. But boy, did we probably ruin it as well. You just think about how many 30-year-olds that I mean, it certainly wasn't me. It's like when you're 30 to 39, you can kind of be a professional, but you can still goof around and maybe not have to be a head coach of the Los Angeles Rams. So there's an element that I'm a big brother. We have this neat chemistry that, we can go out and have a boxing match and then go have a beer afterwards, But you put on some boxing gloves, and I think y'all did a video of him. You've seen him squatting recently, so we're definitely not going to wrestle, because boy, could he! I'm getting jealous of him. I used to be back in high school, state champion weightlifter, and man, now when you go grab Sean, holy cow! When you grab Sean now, you're like, man,
rocked up.
I have really gotten weak in my 50s.
Okay,
so there's an element where. Go ahead.
No, yeah, I want to.
I had to bring that on only because I'm human nature, jealous of Sean, right? He gets the video. Handsome. But again, he was using that safety bar. Back in my day, Pat, we didn't do safety bar.
No.
This is straight bar.
This
is old school.
Yeah.
Put it on your back, go down, get parallel.
Yeah.
Kind of stare at the judges and then come up.
Yeah.
Not this.
Yeah, not the safety bar. Yeah. Now, did I immediately text Andrew Whitworth and ask him, where can I get that safety bar for my gym? Yeah. Is that the only bar I'm going to squat with for the rest of my life? Yeah. But Sean getting after it in there with
look at that WWE championship belt he's got on.
Yeah, Whitworth's wearing one of those as well in there, and he's got a dumper still. Mm-hmm. Whitworth, he's still got a big pooper. That thing is way out there, good explosion. So you don't lift over at the Village? You don't get in there?
It's interesting. Ryan Sorensen, who works with Whit, who trains. I can tell you this, Pat. They were a little bit after COVID. Got back into working out a little bit with Ryan Sorensen. Whit was still playing then, so Whit didn't have his gym then. I can tell you this. I went through about a year with Ryan. And I looked at him. I said, Ryan, you know what? I work out to have fun. This is just not fun. I mean, he would wear me out. I would want to throw up doing just bands, a band workout. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? I didn't come here to puke doing bands. But you know what? They've gotten Sean into doing it, and boys, he obviously, you know, the tape doesn't lie.
They're saying
guy's got 500 pounds on his back.
They're saying Puka's puking all those workouts. Sounds like Ryan Sorensen is a puke bucket creator.
There's nothing. He's old. Yeah, he's puke bucket. I can tell you this though about Puka. I don't know. It seems like Puka pukes all the time. It could be first quarter. It could be after a touchdown. It could be at halftime. I think he just pukes.
Can't spell. You know, I don't know.
That's true. Can't spell puke.
Puka's the best. He is.
Going back to that, I do think here's the neat thing about Sean and working with him is, obviously, Sean, his coaches, they design the systems, right? Of what they're trying to get accomplished on game day, how they're going to deploy each player. And Sean's got this way, and it's why he's going to be really good on television. He can explain it in a Madden-esque way where it's plain as sight is. You know exactly, right, what type of player, what edge they bring to the table, no matter where they're at in the draft and free agency, and how they can really, really help us in a specific role. And I think that's why Davante watched that video and said, you know what, we're going to have fun in LA, but you know what, they prioritize football there. Guess what? When we go have personnel meetings or draft meetings or free agency meetings, we're going to be throwing around some what's the movie Wedding Crashers quotes.
Yes.
But Sean's also going to really, really articulate along with his staff. Hey, you know what? This is what we need this position to do, right? And it might even be a punter who not only can putt but can kick off. So that's why we drafted Ethan Evans in the probably 5th, 6th round a couple of years ago, right? Because we knew we might have been going with an older kicker, didn't want to, waste his leg kicking off. So it's very clear and concise on what we're looking for.
That's I love that you think that deep, and I like that his communication ability probably helps out the entire building. Hey, this is what we need. This is what we're looking for. You can obviously go find that. Ethan Evans is a dog. You're talking about in the weight room now. He's posting videos of him squatting and deadlifting and cleaning.
Yeah.
He's a monster. You got a lot of monsters.
You got to get your producers, directors, whoever's down. I mean, I feel like we should have some clips going of Ethan Evans right about now.
Yeah, director, get to it. Get to it back there.
Let's go back to back, kind of Rich Eisen 40 this thing with Ethan and Sean squatting.
Yeah, well, I think Ethan's got him pretty good. This is him right here.
Oh, that's a hell of a job by someone in your world.
That's old Zito in the back. I don't know if he's directing anything, but he's certainly producing some magic back there.
Think about this. This is our head coach and punter. This isn't an offensive lineman that you don't know their name. This is a head coach and punter.
They're saying 585 pounds right there.
Jesus.
Ethan Evans, the punter. It's like,
hell yeah.
They got dogs over there in LA. Now, speaking of that, let's go to your drafting process. AP Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Les, people are starting to notice that you might have a kind of guy that you go after. All these stud defensive linemen that you have drafted, they all started at small schools and then transferred to bigger schools and had success there. Verse went to Albany. Turner was at Richmond. Byron Young was at Georgia Military. And Fisk was at Western Michigan before they all transferred to their schools. Is that just a coincidence, or is there something in guys going up a level, continuing to play well that you like in drafting a defensive lineman that has been so successful?
I think it's probably a very fruitful coincidence. It's not necessarily a prerequisite at the end of the day, but I do think that the moral to that story, or maybe a lesson in there, is right. Each one of those players bet on themselves along the way. Each one of those players, right, had this dream to play at a certain level of the video game, and maybe out of high school didn't quite get to the level of the video game they wanted to. But you know what? They signed up, they persevered, they were resilient, they got better each day, and they worked their way up to that next level of the video game. And when they got there, guess what? They dominated, and you know what? We said, hey, let's bring you to the Rams house, per se.
The young core D-line is probably what makes you most excited about the potential next few years and what you think this team could be. You have some pivotal positions on young contracts. That is a massive ordeal, I would assume. And at what moment this past season did you know that these guys could be real? Because at the beginning they're going into the trade deadline, it was maybe you guys are going to be sellers. Like, hey, maybe this isn't the year. Then I think some health happened. Is that the moment that you realized, like, maybe this year is a good year for this team? Or did you think you were a year out? How did you kind of view that young defense and defensive line throughout the season?
From the start, we always knew, okay, we appreciated on paper, right, who we thought these players could be and where they could get to. Maybe they weren't there then, and probably as individuals and even as a collective unit. But each game, you could see that group evolving again as individuals, and then as a group, and then obviously at the end of the season, they were applying as much pressure and we even had some of those games, right, Sean McVay like games where we're winning. We're winning 10-9 per se. We were a defensive bunch, so we always felt like let's just hang in there. Let's let this group keep evolving. Again, when you're 1-4 and you got a Thursday night game, probably against the 3-1 or 4-1 Minnesota Vikings, and boy, that's when they were rolling. And Coach Flores had they were coming. That's not where you want to be. But you know what? That challenge, that was a pivotal challenge that this young team, and we were taking on water too. Some of our studs were still injured, and we didn't have them back. But we got Puka back that night. He ignited confidence in the building. Where you know what? Originally he was going to play the following week. He walked in on Monday and said, you know what? Let's do it on Thursday night. And I think from that moment on, let's go. Let's get in the ring and make this happen, and you just take it one at a time. But going back to the defense, you could see them that you felt like they were going to evolve, and they got there pretty quick.
Yeah, I'd say. And then I remember after that Thursday night, remember you guys ripped the helmet off the guy's head, right? Yeah, Sam.
Killed Darnold.
Right off of Sam's head there. Yeah, that's how you guys won the game. I remember that. You guys cheated. But nonetheless, you guys get a big-time win. I remember that. You remember that, obviously.
You got to, every now and then, you got to get return on good luck. Good luck, you know what I mean? You got every now and then an official misses the call. Don't complain about it. Either sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't.
Amen. Now, going your guys' way multiple times in big situations down in New Orleans. Nonetheless, I love it. Means you guys are living right. That's why it's happening. But from that moment, I think once you guys started winning, it was like these guys are going to be trading at the deadline to, wait a minute, nobody wants to see the Rams right now. And that's literally how the season ended all the way up into that Eagles game whenever Jalen Carter just decides he's going to become a superhuman again in the middle of that. It's like your team was fun to watch this year. It was like watching a team kind of go, I don't want to say this is a bad example, but I just want to, from JV to like varsity. It was like watching your team evolve into like the team that they can be. Excited to watch them going forward. Now, on that note, you had to fix a very important part of the team. Good, Con Man.
Yeah, another group that evolved less was the offensive line, and you guys actually just moved on from Jonah Jackson just because of how good the draft picks that you had kind of worked out. How did that kind of progress throughout the year, and how hard is it to find the right lineman for a Sean McVay system?
It's a little bit difficult, right? Because we have a specific skill set, but we won't get into that. I think we always want quality offensive line. Going to Jonah, and he's a quality offensive lineman. I mean, we've seen what he did in Detroit. The interesting thing there is we attempted to move Steve Avila, who had played really well at guard for us his rookie year, to center. He had been a center and guard at TCU, and at the end of the day, both Steve. When Steve got injured during the process of, training to be the center, Jonah has a center background to him. So we even said, let's move Jonah there now that Steve's hurt. And then Jonah got hurt. End of the day, now we're training two players who've been a guard in the NFL. We're trying to make them center. And, oh, boy, it's not going well. And they're both injured. And so when we're in camp, in pads, when you really are, stressing under fire to figure out, can we do this? We didn't have either one of those. Then here comes Bo Limmer, says, I'll take the job. So at the end of the day, once we got to the end of the season, we were probably, return on bad luck, right? Bad luck being the injury to Steve Avila and Jonah Jackson. The good luck, we drafted Bo Limmer. So now we felt like we were probably one extra starter in terms of Jonah, Steve, and Big K-Dot at guard. And we felt like this was the best thing for the team and even Jonah. Because we could have brought Jonah back. We could have gone to a 3-guard rotation. You might have an injury and Jonah fits right in. But I know Jonah really wanted go play, have a chance. And then got to give Jonah Jackson credit, Pat. You've been in the locker rooms. This guy's making $17 million. He goes through feeling guilty. Like, I'm not starting and I'm making 17. And you're like, you know what? It's okay. We got into a conundrum, but we're winning here. And he goes out and he does scout team. I mean, he's like the leader. I mean, that's a man, and I wish him nothing. And I know why Ben Johnson and the Bears and Ryan Poles, I know why they attacked going after him, because of Ben's probably relationship with him in Detroit and Chicago needing offensive linemen, and let's go. Rest is history.
Congrats to Chicago. Sounds like you're getting a dude, like that type of buy-in, and I feel bad.
Yeah, you're getting a dude. That's a dude.
Yeah, that's what Hey, look at Chicago.
Wow.
Hey, look at Chicago. Hey, last question here. We're coming up on a hard out. We can't thank you enough for your time. Honestly, this is very, very kind of you. Shout out to artists, and the artist in the office that drew my face as a jacked person. What should we know about this particular draft? There's a lot of conversation about, like, is there high-end talent? Is there more depth of talent? Like, what do you think about this particular draft class as a whole, and what will the storyline be, you think, the day after the draft?
Every draft has talent. It'll be a fun draft only because you think about last year, 7. I think we picked 19. Last year, 7 QBs went before pick 19. It's probably a reason why someone like Jared Verse got pushed to 19. You never know. Maybe he would have fallen 19 anyway. Maybe he would have gone pick 15, 6, I don't know, a little bit earlier if it wasn't those 7 QBs. It doesn't seem like this year there's going to be 7 QBs that go before pick 19. So that is going to be for the first time in a while, how many QBs actually go in the first round, how many go, before pick 15, all those things. And what that does now is all of a sudden, let's call it position players start getting picked right earlier and earlier. So it's going to be a fascinating draft of position players and not just QB dominated. And it'll be fun to, take the day after the draft, whatever that storyline is, that's going to be irrelevant. That'll be good content for maybe your show on Monday, Tuesday. But I can tell you this, it'll be interesting to see, right, how these players who get picked in this first round and even second round, things like that, what they're doing 2 and 3 years down the road. Only because, it's going to be the first year where it might be the least amount of QBs, picked in the first round in a long time.
I love the general manager saying, we're judging drafts the day after the draft. Why don't we wait 2-3 years here and see who's a winner, who's not? You certainly have been, and we appreciate you taking the time, Les. Have a great day.
Hey, appreciate it. Always enjoy it.
Hey, can artists sign that photo and send that, or is that dry erase?
Oh, we're sending it to you.
Thank you. Artists, I need an autograph from you, artists. Appreciate that. You're the best, ladies and gentlemen. Les Snead.
Yeah, Les.
That was awesome. Artists, what a relationship.
Yeah, that was an interesting little photo there.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. His example was the person in the office draws the person who's the most important on the Zoom to put over there, and I think that's Les trying to put us over there.
Sure.
I do wonder if they just had a photo of me in Artist's office there for like the last 3 or 4
like
years.
a dartboard type thing?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a dartboard or if
exactly.
Because I think I don't know about all people, but I think there is a good amount of people at the Los Angeles Rams building who watch our program.
For sure.
And are fans of our program. But we never reach out to them because of their PR guy, Artists.
Right. Yes.
So then Artists at Super Bowl comes over and goes, hey, man, I apologize.
I don't know how this got sideways.
I don't know what And I'm like, that was very kind of you. And then I told him what happened. He goes, I'm sorry I did that. And it was probably just like a blip in his world. But for me, I'm like, fuck that guy. He's a good man.
Yeah.
So are the Rams. We're back on the other side.
We have an opportunity to give away $75,000 to a kid named Daniel Villasenor.
Absolutely.
You're a sophomore, correct?
Yeah.
What is your major?
Civil engineering.
Okay, so what's that mean? What is civil engineering?
I don't really know.
Have you ever kicked a ball before?
I have.
When? Were you a soccer player?
Soccer player, yeah.
Okay, how were you at kicking soccer balls? Pretty good?
I was okay. I was good.
Have you ever said anything negative about football kickers?
Maybe once or twice.
Daniel! Damn, Daniel! We don't need that. You make a field goal here from 33 yards uphill. You're the civil engineer. You'd have to tell me, I think it's about a 40-yard kick. If you're able to do that, we will give you $75,000.
All right.
He's got no laces.
Yeah, what do we got going here? Can we get a shot of shoes?
What time? Hey,
A shot of the shoes.
Daniel showed up in his Vans with no laces. What time did you get here for this?
About 11:40 last night.
Need a lot of power.
Good luck, Daniel.
I'm not feeling it. Not feeling it. Wait a second.
Just like everything this morning, that was a surprise. We did not expect that.
Let's go. We gotta do one more shot.
One more kick for $100,000.
You got this, dude.
Let's go. How about this, Daniel? How about this, Daniel? Not only is this one for $100,000, if you make it, we'll add another $100,000 to the $500,000 donation we're about to make from College Game Day to the hurricane relief. It could be $600,000 if you make this, with $100,000 going into your pocket. Daniel, this is bigger than you. Let's make a kick.
Way to overcome the shoes here. That was a heck of an effort. Come on, you got this.
In Berkeley, California.
You got it.
Oh! Hell yeah!
Great job.
Damn, Daniel! Damn, Daniel! All right.
What just happened?
Are you kidding me?
It's 11:40 he was there. I know.
600,000 to hurricane relief. 100,000 to Daniel. What a morning in Berkeley.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this big-time Tuesday, March 18th, 2025. Hour 2 of the program starts now.
Madness
is happening tonight. March Madness officially tips off with a couple play-in games on True TV starting at 6:40 Eastern. Where's True TV? That's a question you're asking yourself. You find it tonight because you're going to need it. Okay? You're going to need it this weekend. You're going to need it for about the month going forward because we're about to find out who's the greatest college basketball team on planet Earth. Madness is in store. Magic is on the horizon. And one team will change the trajectory of their school forever. And one team cheated their way in to the entirety of it in the North Carolina Tar Heels, allegedly. Now, are they going to beat San Diego State tonight? They're favored by 4.5.
Sure.
If they were to play West Virginia, would they beat West Virginia?
No.
I don't think so.
No way.
Especially from what I've been looking into. How you in quad one games, UNC? Not good. How's West Virginia in quad one games? Great. Ask the governor of West Virginia. He'll tell you all of the stats. But tonight the madness starts, and I'll tell you, I'm not, obviously, clearly, the biggest college basketball human. Okay, I didn't grow up in a college basketball town, although the Pitt teams were good with Dixon as the coach.
Very good.
They were awesome to watch. They were fun to watch, and I did follow along, but I didn't keep track of everything going on. Every single year, it's the same story. Whenever we get captivated by this particular sport, we get captivated by the performances and the storylines, and we get captivated by some small school that goes on a run. Because all you got to do is get hot for 8 games, 7 games, whatever it is, 6 games, whatever the hell it is. You get it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get hot, you steal the show.
Mm-hmm.
And some guys will launch themselves into lottery picks. Some guys will change an entire state's economy.
Yeah.
Some team will disappoint everybody. And that's what the madness is all about. The Talks the Tables here at Boston Connor and Ty Schmidt. Comment, this is the best fit you've ever had on this show.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you very
Fully
much.
agree.
I thought the same.
Fully agree.
Really?
While we were talking in the first hour, you were speaking, and I didn't want to interrupt you and just stop you from what you were saying. But I was like, the hat bill matches the hoodie. And then I believe the under half of the,
Pants.
and then this is blue, and on your hat, there's blue.
Blue.
I mean, it's,
Yeah, because a lot of times the pants are black with like a blue t-shirt.
yeah, you dress like an asshole
Well,
usually.
I have a purple T-shirt.
Yeah, but that looks kind of bluish, especially next to the.
I was gonna wear
It's a
the
cool fit.
purple wolf shirt. But
Hey,
yeah,
this is
I'm
a good
glad.
fit, dude.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. While you were talking about
That is magical, like March. That's the madness of March right there.
this is madness. It's madness.
This is one shining moment for your fit.
This is my first good fit. I really appreciate that. This is a surreal experience. While we were talking about that, I feel like I just remembered everything about DJ Burns last year, NC State, the big man. We were kind of having a conversation with him before. I believe he is now in South Korea, basically running the entire country, playing basketball over there, leading some team to what is sure the South Korean basketball championship, I would assume. But it is, there's always those players that, change their lives, change an economy, but also just like come out of nowhere and make a name for themselves. Like I'll always.
And then disappear.
And then
Yes.
become nothing. Yeah, like I'll
Whoa,
not become nothing, but you understand what
Jeez
I'm saying.
Louise, act like you're fit.
In the basketball world, like Steph Curry, for instance, became Steph Curry. Started as Davidson. I didn't know who that was until that incredible run, and then now he's considered one of the greatest college basketball players, just basketball players of all time. Then there are DJ Burns who have this incredible run, and they just become those players that kind of define March. Because what was NC State last year? An 11 seed?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
They were.
something like that. And then DJ Burns became this guy who was scoring 30 every single time they played. Obviously, Jimmer Fredette, things of that nature as well.
Golke, remember
Jack
Golke?
Golke.
Yeah, boom, from Oakland. Yeah, he was incredible. He had
Who's the white dude, Ole Miss?
Henderson?
Yeah, Marshall Henderson.
Marshall.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
This tournament always creates.
One
it.
from St. Peter's, can't remember his name, but he was great.
Drew Peters.
Doug Eater.
Doug Eater.
Doug Eater,
Okay,
yes.
there it is.
Yes.
You got a
Buffalo Wild Wings, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Exactly.
So this is what we're talking
This is
about.
why we
Play the game.
And we could have never guessed any of that was going to take place before the tournament.
No.
Which is why this is such a magical ride. For the next couple of weeks, we get to talk about shit that's never going to be able to be talked about again.
Yeah.
There's going to be some coach is going to draw up some play at some mid-major, and he's going to be maybe talked about as going to Iowa.
Maybe.
Or talking about going to Indiana.
Yeah.
Or maybe going to
West Virginia.
Got a 3-horse race right now. between
Ty, what
those
the hell
three.
is going on with the coaching staffs?
I have no idea. Yeah, the DeVries situation is crazy. Obviously, there were reports that came out that he was in Iowa City yesterday meeting with their athletic director. A little bit of background for people who don't know. He was Drake's head coach. His younger brother was an All-American at
Drake
Iowa.
is in Iowa.
Yeah, Drake University, who's in the tournament this year. It's in Des Moines. His younger brother was an All-American D lineman at Iowa. Played for the Lions. He played basketball at UNI, but a lot of people have said, hey, that's like a dream job. Go back home, be able to coach at Iowa. But now they're saying, hey, Indiana, he's the top candidate for
trot.
Exactly. He's the top candidate for that job.
How come West Virginia isn't the top candidate for DeVries?
But that's the thing is
he's currently our head coach.
But we haven't heard that, hey, he's done at West Virginia. He's going to go seek one of these jobs. Now, if he was in Iowa City, then you would think that there's a chance he is looking. But then they're also talking about Drake's head coach, where he used to be, saying, hey, Indiana also likes him. Iowa likes him. That could be a spot, West Virginia. So it's almost like every coach who is available or who's going to take that next step up, they're either going to find themselves at Iowa, Indiana, or West Virginia. So we really don't know what the hell's going on.
I talked to Whitey earlier, West Virginia podcast host.
Of course. Great voiceover guy.
Great voiceover. We did the one whenever we went back to West Virginia.
Last place in fantasy football.
Great
He said,
podcast host.
West Virginia, absolutely old grad pod. West Virginia's being viewed as like a mid-major right now. Okay? You just mentioned Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah, they love their coach at Drake. It's like, yeah, West Virginia, their coach might have it. Maybe. We're in the Big 12, okay? We have been dancing, deep into dance plenty of times before.
Plenty?
We have Yes.
Well,
Beeline did it. Huggins did it. Hell, fucking Jerry West played for West Virginia.
Bingo.
Okay,
Good
so
point. Let's go
you
back.
need to
He
figure
did.
it the fuck out
You're right.
before you start
You're right.
talking. I know you look cool, but let's just,
No,
have a
I
little-
forgot about Huggy. Same way he forgets, when he's driving.
Okay.
But I hear
Oh,
what you're
whoa,
saying.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
I'm a fan. I
Uncalled
like
for.
Huggy. I like Huggy. I love him.
I believe he is admitted to problems. Obviously, can't be doing it. I think he's getting healthier, hopefully, like everybody is, especially in this particular climate and world
Fix
that
that
we're in
vernacular.
with technology and everything like that. And I think that happened in like back to back.
It was right, yeah.
Yeah, it was like back to back. A lot happened there, but nonetheless, we get kicked out of the tournament for some other team.
Yeah.
Like clearly. 111 bracketologists, they don't know shit about this small school, West Virginia.
Absolutely jobbed. Almost intentionally, it feels like.
And then now our coach, like, maybe he is okay down there at West Virginia. It's like, why is this happening? Ren, answer the phone. Okay. I don't know who's calling, but answer the phone.
I was going to say, he's answering your calls. It's not like he's not picking up the.
Haven't talked to Ren in months. Okay, I have not.
Months?
But Ren needs to answer the phones. I don't know who's calling. He needs to maybe pick up the phones. Enough of this. Now, he put out a statement saying, DeVries and us have a very good convo, Heartbroken for WV Hoops. This is after the committee didn't. Last night, Ren put out a quote about hey, the future very bright together with DeVries, and he is our type of guy. I met him at Rich Rod's press conference. He was there. Cool dude. Very casual. Just walked in, dap up. How you doing? This is what we like. His kid, who was a stud, came over from Drake. He gets hurt. Then, that was literally the week it happened. Team still goes on to win games. Not enough. They're still in the conversation, which is kind of a tough thing. I think West Virginia are this team, how would they do if they did get, that whole conversation? They just don't like that they're getting treated as a nothing, getting treated like a nothing university. In the DeVries convo, it's I was going to hire him or Indiana's going to hire him. It's I understand Indiana because we live in a state, love basketball. Okay, now Kurt Signetti, what he's been able to do with the football team, how much money he's been able to raise, has that taken money away from the basketball thing? I doubt it. They love hoops out here. They love Hoosier hoops out here. They do not love that it has been irrelevant for a while at the Indiana basketball operation. So, maybe that's one of the schools that he could have, whenever he was in his thing. Iowa going back home, I know it's a story and everything like that. Well, you just got to West Virginia, buddy. We got some special stuff to do, especially after you get jobbed by the NCAA. You can literally use that as an entire motivator, my first year here, remember what happened, and then go on a run. Nobody's saying that, though, for West Virginia. Only thing that's being said is, this guy's gone. It's just, where is he headed to? Where the hell, how the hell is he getting out of the Big 12 to get to the Big 10? It's DeVries, we want you, bud, And hey, listen.
So do we. So, you guys are going to have to, hey, listen, you're going to have to come to the plate. You're going to have to come to the plate, do something, maybe give him a raise or something.
I know in football, the coaching contracts are a lot bigger in the Big Ten. I assume they are a lot bigger in basketball as well.
Yeah, but the basketball in the Big 12, people have been talking about it.
It's good. It is good.
Is it? Because Kansas is a 7 seed now. They had
a bad year. They had a bad year.
Well, I think Big 12
Arizona.
basketball, I think Kansas, okay? And Arizona. What's Arizona, a 4 seed this year? I mean, do they even have a 1
Not bad.
seed?
They're under respect as well. So they got a little chip on their shoulder. Joining us now is a guy whose team didn't make it in the tournament, but they don't care because Ryan Day's talking about football again. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup winner, AJ Hawk.
Yeah.
AJ, I don't know if your guys' coach is getting plucked everywhere, but that's happening in West Virginia right now. And I can't wait for these games to start so that the madness isn't just about West Virginia getting fucked, I would like the games to start so it can just be that.
I tell you what, Governor Morrissey and his presser that you guys showed clips of, that was amazing. Is he citing 111 bracketologists as this is the research, these are the people, and who are bracketologists and who names
experts?
That? Do you get, when do you go from, hey, I'm a writer to a bracketologist, I'm an expert at this situation?
Well, you just gotta showcase an ability.
Go to school for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pete, you gotta showcase that you're good. How do gamblers go from gamblers to professional gamblers? I think it's a 60-some% hit, or what there's a rate that some gambling sites higher.
You got to quit your day job.
Yeah, you got to quit your day job. You got to hit a certain percentage, and then you can become one of these at some of these professional gambling sites. Okay, so I think in this particular case, you just got to get it right most of the time over the years. There's 111 of them. That's a lot. I don't know how many people are getting it right, but we do know, and the governor knows. First time ever, all 111 were wrong. Okay, not even 1 in 111 got it right that West Virginia wasn't going to be in. So Governor Morrissey says, they know it better than I do. I mean, I'm about to learn it better than anybody, but I got questions, is what Governor Morrissey said. Maybe there'll be some transparency. Going forward. Speaking of transparency, Pete Thamel is reporting that Coach DeVries is not a candidate for the Iowa job.
Wow.
Uh-oh!
What?
Listen, I love Pete Thamel, but he's been wrong several times.
That's
so
not
until it comes out that he is not going to, call him. Call Pete right now, and I'll let him know. Hey, listen, Pete, fucking back off. All right.
He went over there and he said, "This ain't it." That's what he said.
Well, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But you know what? Pete Thamel is not the arbiter on everything.
He's the authority.
He's not,
He kind of is.
He is. But guess what? Pete's been wrong before, and he might be wrong again.
Okay, obviously he's taking a lot of hacks in the batter's box. Every once in a while you're going to miss the ball. We are calling currently the authority. We are joined, ladies and gentlemen, by the authority in college football and back in college basketball full-time, Pete Thamel.
Yeah, Pete.
No, Pete.
Hey,
Pete,
it's great to see
Prison
you.
Pete.
Great to see you, Prison Pete out here. Yes, it is great to see Cool Pete took. What do you guys call it in Canada? A toque? What is that? A toque is what you call
That's
it?
a toque, yeah.
Beanie, a toque, tossle, you name it. You look awesome, Pete. You just obviously sent some shockwaves through this particular Thunderdome because DeVries, obviously West Virginia's head coach 1 year, got jobbed out of the tournament. Everybody knows. 111 bracketologists, probably Pete being one of them. Did not see this coming. So he was being tied to the Iowa job. This morning, I woke up to a bunch of people saying he's being tied to the Indiana job. I heard nobody saying he was still tied to West Virginia, which obviously had me a bit upset. What is the current situation with Coach DeVries, and why is he not a candidate for the Iowa job? I thought that was like dream job for him, and they need a coach for the first time in 15 years, Pete.
Yeah, so all good questions, Pat. I feel like we're going to, this is a little bit of a domino effect, right? I do feel like we're going to get some clarity on where Indiana is headed here in the next couple of days, and perhaps sooner. There's been, I reported Saturday on College Basketball Game Day that the Iowa search was focused on three different candidates: Ben McCollum, Darren DeVries, and Clemson's Brad Burnell. Ben McCollum's obviously the Drake coach. So two of those coaches are in the NCAA tournament, and one of them isn't. Obviously, you can ask the governor of the state where your alma mater lies what happened with them. So I do feel like Indiana's cards are going to be shown pretty quickly here, Pat, on where they go, and then that will ripple into Iowa's options.
Why is DeVries not okay? Thank you for all that information. Why is DeVries not a candidate for the Iowa job? They just didn't like the cut of his jib. Because now I'm a little bit offended that you guys don't want our coach. Now I'm like, did you see what he did?
I don't think that's. I think Iowa has been interested in Darren DeVries. I don't think it's from Iowa's side. There's a large buyout involved, which could be a factor here. Yeah, I was in an interesting situation right now. I would expect if Darren DeVries does go to Indiana, which is at least a possibility at this point, that Ben McCollum would be right at the forefront of that Iowa search. He's obviously right there. Drake, he's won 4 national titles. He's an excellent coach. So yeah, it's these things are always very fluid, Pat, and it's a very interesting situation right now between your home state and Ty's alma mater.
So let's say DeVries leaves West Virginia. Don't love it. What is the percentage of that? And also, who would West Virginia hire then? So now we're all of a sudden behind on the coaching hiring cycle, and we're jobbed by the NCAA. Where's West Virginia basketball standing in all this?
So I think West Virginia basketball is going to be fine. They just ran a coaching search last year. Those pools are there. Ren Baker, the athletic director, has a background in basketball, which is pretty rare in modern college athletics. Most of these guys come through business or football. He came up as a basketball manager and was actually a basketball coach. So he ran a full search last year. I think they'd be able to go pretty fast, quite frankly, because they've likely spoken to, within the last 11 months, everybody who'd be at the forefront of their list. So I wouldn't think it would take much time to flip that. And look, everybody's going to want the Alabama job, the Cowboy job. Like Indiana's one of those jobs. So I don't think it's an indictment on West Virginia. They've certainly been aggressive in trying to keep him, Pat.
Amen.
I just think that sometimes when you get called up, you got to go. So we'll see if we'll see in the next in the near future where Indiana turns.
All right, we appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. The Authority, Pete Thamel. Have a great March Madness, baby. Called up.
Get called up to Iowa, you got to go.
Yeah. All right, he was talking about
That's what he
Indiana.
said, right? Oh, I thought he meant both of them.
No, he said Indiana.
They're both in the same.
He said
conference.
Indiana's like Alabama Cowboys, is what he said. So, I mean, I do understand because these people in this state, like, if I didn't live in Indiana and I didn't marry into a Hoosier family, Indiana Hoosiers family, I don't think I would fully understand. These fuckers love the Indiana Hoosier basketball team.
It's a big deal.
Which is why
State of ball.
it has been such a heartbreaker for so long, which is why it gets so loud because they haven't been good. These people, the fathers, and the fathers, and the mothers, and the mothers, they came up with Bob Knight, they have a basketball Hall of Fame here. Bob Knight was obviously here. The pinstripe, the Hoosier stripes, and you're talking about basketball. The high school basketball here, thousands and thousands in gyms around here. The high school state tournament, very, very big deal. Like, they love hoops here. Before Peyton Manning got here, this was a hoops and racing town in a hoops and racing state. Fully. We like racing. We like the Indy 500, obviously. We got hundreds of thousands of people coming here. All the teams are basically hubbed here. This is the home for an entire race league, pretty much. We love it here. Take care of them here. And then also hoops. We love hoops here. We got the Hall of Fame here. We got the Hoosiers here. The Pacers, when Reggie was going on, everything. It's like a hoop state, which is why Cignetti being able to win is pretty mind-boggling, to be honest.
So cool.
That has never been even a thought that the Indiana football team was going to be good. And nobody cared. Like, nobody, it was like, football team, yeah. All right.
Yeah, you're right.
A couple hundred people. Yeah, they didn't, it was like, is our basketball team good or not? Like, that was
when did Bob Knight leave Indiana? For real. That's like, he set the foundation, I feel like. Obviously, the movie Hoosiers back in the day. I don't know, have young kids seen Hoosiers, though? Do they even know about it?
They know about it, yes. And every kid in Indiana has a,
oh, yeah.
Every single one of them. It doesn't matter what they're built like, what they look like, how many sports they play, have an ability to shoot a ball. You'll just learn that. You go to an LA Fitness or something, you'll see some bum-looking kid, and then he gets the ball in a corner, and that thing's going to go in somehow. And it's like, oh, it's Indiana. Everybody here can shoot. Joining us now is a man who knows more about hoops than we do, and we'll ask him about everything that the Authority, Pete Thamel, just said. Ladies and gentlemen, friend of the program now at this point. I think we can say that. From ESPN's college basketball analysis, former coach in the ACC, long time, Coach Seth Greenberg.
Yeah, Coach. What's up, boys? Good time of the year now.
It is active time of the year. I saw you on TV last night on a college game night. You guys were pulling different categories and spinning a wheel and giving takes with Zubin. I saw you on Get Up this morning, which leads me to this. For those that didn't see this man on Get Up this morning, this was said.
So it's a fascinating thought from Pitino, and here's my Uncle Seth Greenberg, no relation, with thoughts on that. Seth, we live in a world where where football drove conferences to do all sorts of things that made a lot of sense for financial reasons and positively no sense for any other reasons. Basketball, on some level, I guess we could say, was something of a casualty of that. What do you make of the idea? He said the words "in basketball." What do you make of the idea of something like the ACC and Big East forming a conference together in basketball?
I think it makes sense. In fact, 2 years ago, I had a conversation with the people in the ACC office and exactly said that to them. They got to get back to the roots. The ACC was built on college basketball. I understand the money is in the football side of it. But you know what? You could create a super conference, the best conference in all of college basketball. You got to give these schools the resources. But you know what? Merging the ACC and the Big East, think about the matchups you would have. They wouldn't be games, they'd be events. You'd get back to the old school rivalries of the old Big East, but then you'd bring in some new rivalries like a Connecticut against North Carolina, Connecticut against Duke. To me, it makes sense. You've got to find a way to make it happen. And Chip Kelly said this a couple months ago. He said, what what college athletics needs to do, and this made a lot of sense. Regionalize everything else but football. If you regionalize everything else but football, to me, that's a win for everyone.
Okay, Seth, you're the first person we're hearing it from the basketball world. Obviously, we heard it from Chip in the football world. How likely is that to happen? Because the Big East still existing whenever the Big East football kind of got rid of, kind of leads me to think there is precedent for basketball being able to make their own decisions. Do you think that's ever possible with the ACC Big East for basketball? Because the more you talk about it, and when Pitino mentioned it yesterday to us, that was the first time I had heard of it. And then my brain did the same thing you did. We got UNC and UConn happening at Madison Square Garden. We got Duke taking on St. John's. Like the matchups are, very. What is the likelihood of that happening? How slow does basketball move versus kind of football, Seth?
Basketball can move real quickly. The problem is the football element. The football is the one that moves slowly because all these TV contracts are tied into football. So, Pat, you've got a good voice. You can make this happen sooner than later.
No.
I mean, if you can get behind this, you could be like the guy behind changing the world of college athletics.
Yeah.
Just by saying, wait a second, regionalize hoops and all the non-revenue sports. Obviously, hoops not the non-revenue. And then let's take football, put it on its own island. Because, you can play one football game a week and travel across country. You can't, look, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but, Stanford and Cal in the ACC, I didn't take geography at Fairleigh Dickinson, Harvard on the Hackensack, but they're not in the ACC. I'm sorry. And you've got UCLA and USC going and playing Big Ten games. Come on, man. It just doesn't make sense. So, we've got to use common sense. And then for the ACC, first of all, I don't know how they didn't bring UConn in when they did expansion. Stanford, Cal, UConn. Which one would you guys pick?
Okay.
I mean, that doesn't make any sense. But to me,
good people go.
The ACC's got to get back to some way its roots. They got 4 teams in the NCAA tournament this year. That's sacrilegious. You think about ACC basketball, you think about the best teams and great rivalries and great programs. Why not find a way to adopt, partner with, or whatever you might want to call it, the Big East, create this mega basketball conference, have all this inventory, share your revenue share. Obviously, football money is going to be taken out of it, and create something different and special, and think outside the box.
Okay, so my question for you would be this. We talked to Pitino later in that conversation. He talked about how St. John's doesn't have a football team, so the revenue share thing is going to be a lot to basketball, and it's going to be a lot to these other sports. Do you think the ACC will ever be able to keep up with, the Big Ten has a lot of money? Okay, they have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they're putting it into football. I assume they're putting it into basketball and will only continue to do so. The SEC is putting a lot of investment into its basketball. We talked to Greg Sankey yesterday, and he's like, there was a mission statement sent out that we need to be better at men's basketball, and they all kind of took adhere to it, and now they're record-breaking with the amount of teams they get in the tournament. Will the ACC ever be able to keep up with everybody else? Now, I'm not saying Big East is underhanded or anything like that, but UConn, all the money's probably going to be going to basketball as well. St. John's, same exact thing. The ACC, they still got to compete against their football teams, right, whenever it comes to the revenue share? Do they have enough NIL and money to be able to keep up with everybody else for the state of basketball, do you think?
I think they have the money. Are they willing to spend the money? Are they willing to make the investment? Pat's like anything else. Your investment equals your expectation. If you want to be good at something, all right, whether it's in work or whether it's in athletics, you got to invest in it, man. You want to keep on changing coaches, great. You're going to hire another coach, don't give him the resources he needs, and you're going to have the same result. Stupid people do the same things over and over and over again. Smart people, you know what they do? They look at things through a different prism and say, you know what? If we want to be good, we've got to make a change. And how we're going to do it, we got to invest in infrastructure, invest in coaches, and invest in NIL. Because without that, I don't care how good that coach is. Without that, if you don't have the resources, you're not winning. Rick Pitino, he's got Rapoli. He's got the water vitamin man running around, hanging out, dropping $100 bills. Come on, man. I'd be a better recruiter. I'd be a much better coach if I had a dude like that hanging on with me. Hey, let's go. That dude's pretty good. Can we get him? All right, let's go. Let's get it done.
Yeah, that's good recruiting. I think it's a good tool, but it's needed now. It is a necessity.
100%.
And I do wonder with some schools that are historic, if their boosters and their money people are going to understand that they need to pitch in. It's not just name anymore. It is a lot that has to go into a lot of commitment. That ACC Big East thing would be so cool.
Yes.
That would be, for basketball reasons, that would be insane. Hopefully they're able to get it done. Sounds like you should maybe be a commissioner of this entire thing. AJ has a question for you, Coach.
Coach, when you look at this year, the bracket, obviously we're entering a great time for you. Obviously, it's fun to listen to you on TV. And when you look at this, what games in this first round are you pointing out that you want to watch? Do you think some fireworks might happen? Not maybe a big upset, but maybe some exciting games that people may not be thinking about.
You're the one person who enjoys listening to me, so I appreciate that.
I do as well.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah, we all do.
There's 5 of us. I think I appreciate that. You and my kids. UConn Oklahoma is a fascinating game. Obviously UConn 2-time defending champions. Obviously you have Danny. The one thing they struggle defending is the perimeter. And Jeremiah Fears is a bad dude. He reminds me of Kyrie Irving. I mean, he can break people's ankles and get in the lane. They play 3 guards, which is going to, even though they're undersized, will put a lot of pressure on the defense, perimeter defense of UConn. I think that game is a really interesting game to watch, just in terms of, Danny's going to be able to score. It's whether they can stop him. And then, even right below that, Colorado State, Memphis. A lot of money's on Memphis. Actually, I guess Memphis is being favored. Neat Clifford is a bad dude as well. He's 6'6". They play him all over the floor. Colorado State is really, really efficient offensively. They assist on about 60% of their field goals. But more importantly, it's the spacing and how they share the ball and play through this guy. Memphis, Petty's done a really good job with this team. Tyrese Hunter, one of his players, a lot of injuries in the NCAA tournament this year. He did not play in the conference tournament championship game. They need his leadership. But there's a dude on Memphis, P.J. Haggerty. He is a stud. About 22 points a game, about 8 rebounds, 5 assists, goes to the line about 5 times a game. That dude is really different. He'll be a fun guy to watch. There are so many good matches. How about the conspiracy? Do you guys buy into conspiracies?
Bubba Cunningham screwed over West Virginia. Yeah, Seth, we're in on it.
Yeah,
you think about Bird?
Well, you're all in on it. By the way, do you know what a wob is?
Whoa.
I'll tell you, the wob. West Virginia got beat by the wob, not getting in the tournament.
Okay.
That's wins above the bubble. You see, look. Quickly on West Virginia. You can spin that stuff any which way you want it.
Oh my God.
You could say the net's most important. You could say wins against the field are most important. You could say quad 1 wins are most important. We need one way to evaluate teams for the NCAA tournament because every single person in the room has their own opinion. And look, I know Bubba. I think he's a really good guy, but walking out of the room and saying he's not in the room when they're discussing Carolina, that's great. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Drinks after. And it's not like something that they would say, hey, you got to vote for us. It would be more like, here's our leader. He's our fearless leader. He's the head of the committee. How can we leave his squad out? And you know what they did was the team you guys should really be complaining about is Xavier.
Well, I hate him too.
1-9 in quad 1. Yeah,
Yeah, these guys stink.
It is what it is. You guys won 2 games without DeVries. When you win at Kansas and you beat Iowa State, you're good.
Iowa State was number 3 in the country, I believe, at the time. No big deal.
I don't want to get you wound up, Pat.
We've already done enough.
The
governor's handling it, Seth. Yeah. The governor's handling it all. Just wants a little bit more transparency. But it does feel like we have a lot of good matchups. It does feel like there's a lot of good storylines, which leads to AP Tone's question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, I wanted to ask it because I saw this floating around the internet that this is one of the best tournaments ever, if not the best tournament ever. And they were using KenPom's rankings. And if people don't know, KenPom is a website that basically calculates offensive and defensive efficiency and things like that. And it has 4 of the top 6 teams all time in his rankings with Duke, Florida, Houston, and Auburn. So is this accurate that this could be or is one of the best tournament fields of all time?
Yeah, it could because it's older. Think about the ages of these guys. A lot of these teams, Mike Brady used to have to say, get old and stay old. You've got Chad Baker-Mazara would be like the oldest guy on the Oklahoma City Thunder. You look at Auburn's team, this 5th and 6th year seniors on all these teams. So these teams are older, they're more mature, they're more physical. And the SEC, that Final Four in the SEC championship in Nashville, that will be as good, if not better, than the Final Four we're going to get in San Antonio. Whoa. That's how good it was.
Whoa.
So, the teams you mentioned.
Don't love that.
Whoa.
SEC, ESPN, Seth Greenberg, jeez Louise.
No. Hey. Now, here's the deal, Pat. Everyone thinks I'm a homer for John Calipari, which is my conspiracy thing. Calipari self to play Rick Pitino. Imagine if it's Calipari and Pitino. That's the all-time conspiracy game humanly possible.
Gabagool.
Some people say I hate Duke. Some people say I hate Carolina. So I'm in pretty good shape because I hate both Duke and Carolina, and they hate each other. So that puts me in a good place.
Yeah, the enemy of your enemy is your friend. It seems like they both hate you. Maybe that'll be something that can rally them together.
The enemy of your enemy is your friend. I like that. I might have to steal
I didn't create that. No, do not give me credit. That has been around a long time. I believe in political warfare. It is something that is chit-chatted a lot, and I see it about me a lot. People come together around hating me, so that is a cool thing in my mentions. But Duke and North Carolina, completely opposite ends of the spectrum here, right? This Duke team's supposed to be the one. They're saying this is, even the books are saying very good odds here. This Duke team, everybody seemingly believes, like they are primed to just, I don't want to say UConn this thing like UConn did, but seemingly being talked that way.
I'm going to give you a little secret. There's another team that's going to UConn this tournament, and that's Florida.
Yeah, you've been on Florida.
Oh, I'm on Florida. Now, Duke is, I love Duke. Cooper Flag's got to be healthy. Malik Brown's got to be able to play. They need that experience in the front court. If he's out, he's got that shoulder injury. You're talking about an experienced player that can defend 4 and 5, terrific passer, always in the right place, made a couple threes against Carolina. Ooh. But Florida, I joke around, they're Noah's Ark. They got two of everything. They got two 6'11" big guys. Chinyelu just blocks every shot, carves out space, rebounds the ball, finishes, blocks shots, does everything you need. They bring Handlogden off the bench. Walter Clayton is the best guard in the tournament. And now we want to go deeper into the conspiracy. If Florida gets to the Elite Eight and St. John's gets to the Elite Eight, that's Rick Pitino against Florida. Oh, by the way, Walter Clayton played for Rick Pitino at Iona. You see, everything goes back to the conspiracy.
Yeah, and $1,100, I believe, is what was offered by Iona.
Yeah, $1,100.
Yeah, to count her.
And a cup of coffee. Yeah, and a couple T-shirts.
And a chance to be coached by Rick Pitino, who, after talking to him yesterday, would like to talk to him more.
Mm-hmm.
Anton,
cerebral dude.
Yeah, a lot of paisans in this college basketball. A lot of Jewish coaches of America, too.
By the way, the Jewish coaches are taking off. I'm glad you brought that up, Pat. The Jewish guys only have 3 to 4 coaches on the number one line. That's all. It's no big thing.
Yeah, but I heard.
I might make a comeback.
Not a bad idea, especially if you get a Rapoli in your corner like you talked about. I saw that account, Jewish Coaches of America. Is that the?
Oh yeah, JCA.
Yeah, I saw the picture.
We can make you an honorary member now. If you like.
Oh, mazel, shalom. We could have I'm not a coach. I'm not a good enough coach. I don't have the patience in there. But I did appreciate the fact. It was like, we got to stick together here. And then I wonder if the Italians were like, yeah, we'll meet, but we ain't fucking showing anybody. That's a little bit of the difference here. I do respect and appreciate all of that. Conman has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach. What do you think is the most important aspect when it comes to one singular part of the game to make a run in March? Rick Pitino mentioned yesterday, you need some luck, or maybe that was Izzo. But either way, they mentioned, luck. You need some of that during March, especially, the ball bouncing one way or the other. But is it shooting? Is it defense? Is it kind of, getting a specific possession correctly? What do you think is the most important thing when it comes to making a run to the Final Four?
Besides having dudes, you need a guy at the end of the game you can give the ball to who can go make a play. Because there's a more level playing field. All the teams in the tournament expect to win. And all the teams in the tournament have won a ton of games when you get, past the first round. And I think you need a guy at the end of the shot clock or at the end of the game to give the ball to go make a play. Now, the thing that complements that is, do you have a style of play that's difficult to prepare for the second day of the tournament? Whether it's the second day of the first round, the second day going to the Final Four, or the second day in the championship game. Because styles make fights, and if you have a style of play that's hard to prepare for in a short period of time, that's an advantage. It's a huge advantage. So I'd say style of play, imposing your identity on the game, no different in football. And then the other thing is having a dude. Like, do you have a guy at the end of the shot clock you can give that ball to, and play breaks down and he goes and makes a play? Do you have a Patrick Mahomes?
Eater.
These are all the guys. Yeah.
These are all the stories we were just talking about from previous March Madness. Is that Doug Eater kid came out of nowhere? He was a guy. Henderson was a guy out of nowhere. Burns,
how about the kid in Oakland last year?
Golke.
Yeah, we talked about him as well. Yeah, it's like those are the dudes that you're talking about.
You got to have a closer.
And that's how we find out and learn about these schools and these players. And then we never talk about them ever again.
Yeah.
It's kind of a wonderful time.
It's so much fun.
It is a wonderful time. Things that will be talked about is if somebody big goes down early. What a bummer. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, when you look at all of the national title contenders going into this, which one of them do you think got the worst draw and is most susceptible to upset within like the first couple days of the tournament?
The overall number 1 seed got screwed. I mean, it's the way you can't explain it any other way. I mean, Auburn. Now look, they lost 3 of the last 4, but they're the overall number 1 seed. I mean, they're gonna have to play Michigan to get to advance. Now, Michigan just won the Big Ten tournament. Michigan's got 2 6'11", 7-foot guys, and Golden and Danny Wolf. All right, Danny Wolf's like he's a lottery pick. He's a homeless Larry Bird in a lot of ways. You can run your offense through him. The guy is really, really different. They put those 2 guys in a ball screen together, and it becomes an absolute problem in terms of how you're going to guard it. They got a kid named Trey Donaldson, a point guard who made that big shot against Maryland at the end of the game. Another conspiracy, by the way, because they could potentially play Auburn and Michigan could play. Now, the Michigan point guard was the Auburn point guard last year. Conspiracies everywhere.
Whoa, wait a minute. Whoa, what's going on behind the scenes here?
Behind the scenes here, but I like this Michigan team. They got enough guys who can make shots. They play really fast. Golden gets baskets around the basket. The kid Wolf, he really is a matchup problem. The only concern for Michigan, they get a little loose with the ball, but I think they've got the toughest second-round game in the tournament. Even if they win their first game, they get a Creighton team. Like, Creighton is good. The big kid Kalkbrenner, he's like a one-man zone. They play fast, a really good passing team, sneaky defensive team because of stylistically. So I think Auburn got the toughest one, and I'd say the other one, toughest one, second would be Houston, just because Tennessee, they're so hard to play against. Tennessee, they're so physical and tough.
That SEC championship game was fun to watch. Did see your Florida team do what Florida does, though. But I think everybody came away from that game and they're like, Tennessee, real deal. How do you feel about all these teams that played in the conference finals and then they have to turn around and play the earliest? Because I heard there were some coaches and some people that are like, yeah, definitely bummed we didn't win the conference tournament, but also we got an extra 5-6 days before the big game, in the tournament. Is that a common conversation amongst coaches about the conference tournament?
It is. Like, guys want to win championships. You want to win championships. Players want to win championships because probably with NIL, they got bonuses bought into winning championships or advancing even in their conference tournaments. Things are written. Having said that, especially the guys who play on Sunday, like those 5 championships that were decided Sunday, if you have a quick turnaround, you go Sunday, Thursday. You think about football guys are used to routine, what day you're in pads, what day you're out of pads. Well, so is basketball. So you get back on Sunday after your championship game, you find out who you're playing, you have a team meeting, your coaches scatter because you're in a 14 bracket, basically. You're not worrying about a 68-team field. You're worried about the 4 teams in your bracket, all right? Your assistant coaches are scurrying around, putting together scouting reports. Your video guy's losing his brain, all right? And you're locked in. But then Monday is film, concept work. Tuesday, you're on a plane probably. If you're playing Thursday, going to your site. So Tuesday, you practice at home. Tuesday afternoon, you probably fly into the site. You get there, you have dinner, you do film again. Wednesday, you got that practice on your site. And Thursday, you're hooping. So, like in recovery time, it's real, especially if you're going sent to the West Coast.
Yeah, long flight changes.
You get sent to the West Coast, it changes a lot. There are a lot of interesting teams going to the West Coast. In the West, UConn's got to go cross country. They lost early. Florida played on Sunday. I'm not sure exactly what day they're playing their first game. So, those things come into play. But I do think that we're so much more aware of taking care of players in terms of hydration, rest, load management. Not load management. Load management in college is recovery days. Like Jay Wright started the recovery day, or at least talking about it, which means basically recovery days is walkthrough, skill work, shooting, ice bath, weights, and ice bath. And he started that. He was really big into that. And he was one of the first guys. My daughter played volleyball at Villanova, and Jay's a dear friend, so I'd go watch him practice all the time. Mm-hmm. And he is amazing on nutrition. Like those guys in their meals, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, like they don't put any crap in their bodies.
Yeah, it'd be nice to be jacked and rocked up. It'd be super jacked.
It would be nice too. Unfortunately, this body's beyond repair.
No, I think you got a chance. I think especially, the head looks very round. It
does.
It's like
the dome is in good shape.
Yeah, it is.
Put a little dust on the dome and send me out. Let me talk about ball.
Okay, yeah, and we appreciate the fact that you're teaching us a lot about this year's particular ball. Now, with that being said, AJ has the last question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, we hear about a team like BYU that relies on the three so much. Do teams like this, like other than BYU, but teams around this tournament that rely on the three ball so much, do they worry you possibly if they go cold for a game or two that they get knocked out?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. But at the BYU, it's not just they're shooting threes, it's how they get them. They get them with their spacing. They get them with step-up ball screens. They get them with shallow cuts and slot drives and kickouts, and they put you in rotation. Yeah. So it's how they get them, but that's who they are. Like, here's the thing. Like, who are you and how do you win? I don't care what sport you play. Like, who are you and how? If you can impose that identity, and all of a sudden now, like, if you're a really great transition team, what does that do to your defense? All right, you're not sending as many guys to the offensive glass, because if you send a bunch of guys to the offensive glass, then you can't set your defense. People in transition, and they're getting the shots you want. So, like, teams like that, there's a residual effect of that playing style that is interesting. Like, shooting all those threes, what does that create? Long rebounds. All right, so now we're used to, like, hitting and going rebound the ball. Now you're hitting, and that thing might be flying over the top of your head.
Yeah.
So imposing identity on the game. So, like, Brian Odom plays them. He's my former assistant. He's the coach of VCU. Like, we spent a bunch of time yesterday talking about how they're going to defend the ball screens, how much pressure they can put on, and then making sure they cover what we used to call the elbows and the blocks. The guards have to come back and rebound. Instead of leaking out, those guards, you contest the shot, you got to come back and get ready to help rebound the ball, because most of those rebounds are going to come either off the corners or back. So,
of course.
If you can impose your identity on the game, even though you're not making a ton, you got to make some. Like Cal Perry had a great line. You don't have to make them all, but you can't miss them all.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
yeah, but some of those three-point shooting teams, they go ice cold. And I'm only saying that from, like, watching West Virginia for a while. West Virginia for a while, there was a three-point shooting team. And, boy, when they were falling, you knew early. You knew, like, in the first 5 minutes what the night was going to be like. Electrifying, and then whenever it was a miss, it was like, well, this one's going to be a grind. And then inevitably that was their fate. Always they would get cold. Now, they'd make it a long way, but they would get cold on the wrong night, and then the other team would be able to just kind of make the most of it. West Virginia is in the topic of discussion right now, Coach. DeVries, can you tell me about him? And is Indiana one of those jobs? We live here in Indiana. We understand how the people feel about Hoosiers and the basketball and basketball as a whole. Is that one of those jobs where DeVries, coaches dream of?
If he can get it, he's got to take it.
Okay, that's how you feel.
If he gets it, he's got to get it. The Iowa thing, I'm not so sure because it's almost a rebuild. But Indiana, you've got a built-in base of recruiting opportunity. I'm sure the money would be great. But let me tell you this. Along with that, and you guys know because you guys are right there, the static around the program is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And, like, you don't answer to just alumni, you answer to the whole state. So you're giving yourself over to the state. I mean, that's basically what you're doing. And there's, because people in Indiana, they all think that they invented the game and they understand basketball. Everyone is coaching your team along with you. And like, does he want to deal with that? But the opportunity to get better, quicker look, they had big time NIL, but they just swung and missed. You got, like, if you go to the NIL, you better get winning dudes. Like, you got to get winning. Like, this whole thing about collecting talent, you got roster construction and putting together a team is as important as the number of, like, great players, because if the players don't fit, it is what it is. But
Coach,
I would think if you could get Indiana,
Coach, they want to see this right here. This is what they want to see. That's what they want to see. That is what they want. That is legitimately what they want. Yeah. And need to be able to make big shots, but we're moving the ball. We are.
Yeah.
And next time around,
motion offense.
We are right back into this thing. And it's like, that is how the Indiana folks, you're talking about everybody in Indiana thinks they think they invented basketball, they know basketball. That's because they pay attention, and it's like, this is how we play basketball here. And you talked about collecting talent and building a roster. That is not just in basketball, that's in football as well. How important is a culture, man? It feels like we really get to see culture here during this March Madness as well, right? Because adversity's coming, and then how can you continue to go? How important is that culture in basketball? Because I, outside looking in, have never been in a basketball locker room or a basketball team setting. It seems like to me, it's like we just got to keep the 2 guys happy, and then everything else is good.
No. I tell you, but you've been in all you guys have been in locker rooms.
Of course.
Let me ask you a question. You're only as good as your locker room, yes or no?
Yes.
You got a crappy locker room, you got no shot.
Agreed.
All right, so like you're only as good as your locker room. So culture, and that's why Florida, what they've done is they've gone into the portal and got multi-year portal guys. So it's not a 6-month rental. So now they develop an identity, they develop a culture, they have an investment. But yeah, I mean, like you're only as good as your locker room. You have a bad locker room, like that Tennessee team, they got a great locker room because there's a Kai Ziegler, Maychuk, and they coached their locker room. If you don't have a dude coaching your locker room, it's like the meeting after the meeting. Let me ask you this, Pat. You give speeches, I'm sure, places, and then you do your thing.
Absolutely.
And then everyone gets up, claps, wonderful. They go to the bathroom, and they either say like that, Pat McAfee, he's full of crap, or they say like, damn, holy mackerel, that was awesome. And here's the deal. That's no different than you speak to your team at the end of practice, and you say like X, Y, and Z, and those dudes go back in the locker room, and they say, or maybe you gave them a real hard practice, and you were like up their ass really, really hard and challenging them and pushing them, and like, you get the wrong guy walking back in the locker room, coach, man, he's full of it, man. What's he talking about? We're practicing too hard. I mean, what does he expect from us? And then, exactly, it blows up. So, like, you got to have locker room, man. I mean, like, it's not just one. You got to have a voice in the locker room that if one of those guys goes sideways, he snatches that guy. Like, one of your guys, Sam Clancy, played for me at Pitt.
Of course.
Absolutely love Sam Clancy. First year at Pitt, we have a good team, a little disjointed, and we lost a couple games, and we had a couple guys going south. I literally said, Sam, like, that's you, man. Like, you're the biggest, baddest dude. That's you. True story. Next day, I'm walking in to change for practice. 100%. Sam's got, I'm not going to mention the kid's name. He's got some dude up against the wall.
Nice.
Like he's on a hanger. And he was saying, like, this is my last time, man. I want to play in the NCAA tournament. Get your crap right.
That's awesome.
And I'll tell you, we were pretty good after that.
Yeah, I can imagine. Sam Clancy was a yinzer, it sounds like. What a dog. I love that. And what you're saying about talking to players and policing their locker room, we do a lot of that on this particular show, and it's pissed off some people in some locker rooms because there's some traits that maybe happen for some teams. And it's like, hey, you can draft good players, you can coach good players, but the players gotta control what the expectations are and the standard is.
Yep.
I love to hear that's also in basketball. Hey, you're the man. Thank you for joining us today, and we can't wait to talk to you again
guys.
soon.
Appreciate you guys.
Ladies
you got it, man. Enjoy the games.
We will. Hey, who's winning tonight? Alabama State and
I'll tell you, here's the deal. As crazy as it is, I'll give you 2 seconds. Carolina's going to win this game. They can beat Ole Miss. Because you know what? Here's the deal. They shouldn't have been in. All right, that's just my opinion. 1-12 is not good enough. But yet, when the tournament starts, they are good enough to win this game against San Diego State, who struggles scoring, but is great defensively. And because Ole Miss doesn't have a legitimate big, they're going to have a shot at Ole Miss, who I really like because they don't turn it over. And Chris Beard is an absolutely great dude. But to me, they don't have a bad draw to win a couple of games.
He's a dog. He's a great coach. We appreciate the hell out of you, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Seth Greenberg.
Yeah, coach.
I think he was treated unfairly in that whole thing.
Yeah. Well,
there was no response to that whole thing. Did you hear him give a response to somebody that said some pundit or somebody said that his team was fraudulent?
I did see that.
And he next person asked the question. And he goes, "That's a good question. Let me get back to this real quick." And he rattles off. I'm like, that was fucking epic. I got a chance to watch Chris Beard work, down there in Texas. His boys ride for him, man. I mean, that is just his assistant coaches, his players, they ride for him. And he really much, like, that's his style, too. Like, hey, let's go do this. He's got a lot of moxie. He goes to Ole Miss. All of a sudden, now they're back in the conversation. It's like, that was kind of how it was going to go, I think, no matter where it happened. And how it ended at Texas was very loud at one half, and then nothing ever on the other side. And then, kind of fucked up, but that's the world that we live in. Right. And then now he's got the guys rolling in this time.
Yeah, and I mean, Texas, you would assume, still has some Beard in it because they're, in the tournament again, I believe, or they're in a playing game, one or the other two. But
or are they top 5 whenever he was there?
Yeah. They're very good. Yeah. Someone needs to tell Seth what coincidence
conspiracy.
But what coincidence means, because I think a lot of his conspiracies are coincidences.
Yeah, because I thought he was saying conspiracy because he talks like he likes those teams and like ESPN's deciding things. So I think I thought he was talking about that. Then he could continued to say it.
Yeah.
like a considerable
Like this
amount.
guy played for this team last year. That's a conspiracy.
No, Seth, that's a coincidence.
Yeah, but was he meaning like they took all the information over here?
Yeah, or I thought he means like, hey, no, the TV people want these people. They know these are good matchups, so they're going to try to do whatever they can to get these matchups. So it's best for TV.
So he goes conspiracy. This guy played here, and
That's
yeah.
what I took it as.
Okay, hey, thank you for that.
That makes more sense.
Thank you for that.
Oh, that's why the Calipari and Patino.
Yeah, because while we were here, and he was on the full screen, we were all going, "What the? Does he know?"
TV conspiracy.
It is
TV,
ratings
right,
conspiracy
ratings.
because he hears it just like the college basketball pundits and media people hear it just as much, I assume, as the college football people do. Like Kirk Herbstreit there was the one deciding who was playing where, remember? And he was getting murdered for the entire. I assume Seth gets a lot of heat because he's part of that college game day show. Okay, yeah, it is a lot of conspiracies now that I think about it. College basketball might have more of them than college football.
Yeah.
Hey, Governor Morrissey, look into that too.
Yeah, he will. He already is.
Oh, he's getting to the bottom of that.
Part of it.
You know, that is something that we need to take place. Okay, AJ, you need to give us an update because there's a new update. It's a new day on Aaron Rodgers. He's basically waiting out the Minnesota Vikings to tell him what they want to do. They're trying to figure out what they want to do. That's the newest report from Scoop City with Diana Rossini and Chase Daniels. Obviously, Diana Rossini, an insider with The Athletic. So this is another day. This is another piece of information. A week ago, it was he's either going to the Giants or the Steelers, and he's holding them hostage. Now it's like, well, the Vikings now are in the game. But at one point, it was the Vikings aren't in the game. Now they're the game. So it feels like a lot of Hail Marys.
Yeah, season 6.
A lot of, maybe that's the case, but that also could be because a lot of people are getting a lot of different information, and a lot of people could have the information. Now, speaking of having information, you're probably the only one that's got it. What's happening, and what should we look into at this point with Aaron Rodgers?
Well, I mean, so first off, I have not reached out. I figured he'll reach out if he wants to talk about this whole situation with me. But I go back to what I said yesterday. Like, what could he possibly be doing? Obviously, he's got multiple teams that want him to come in. There's spots open, but I just don't know with the whole Vikings situation. If that's truly a thing, wouldn't they say something? If it was not a thing, they'd come out and say JJ is our guy. That's all I could think.
They could also say, we're not your puppet. We're not answering every single. I mean, there's just.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody has a clue.
If they want to show faith in their guy, that they could stand up and say, hey, no, JJ's our guy. We're not going after him.
I like AJ saying, yeah, it's on the Vikings. That's what we like. Cam Hayward said, you either play for the Steelers or you don't, bub. It's getting loud, but that's football, baby. We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye. All right, that's a hard out. We got to take one as well. I'm about to piss my pants.
Yeah.
We'll be back on the other side, wrapping up all the wonderful news around the sports world today. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life. Take 5. Why is football the greatest sport on earth? And do you think football is the greatest sport on earth? And why do you like football?
That's a really deep question there, Pat.
I know. I think I can get a good answer out of you, though. Like, I think you'd be able to talk about it in a way that I think a lot of people haven't because you've been at the pinnacle of it for so damn long and inside of it, and your brain is a pretty fantastic one. We've learned here over the last few weeks, obviously. Last few weeks, that's it. That's all the time we've learned that.
I think it's the greatest sport in the world for one main reason. It is a true team sport where it is damn near impossible for one person to dominate an entire game. And if you look at other team sports, basketball with 5 guys on the court, I think you've seen multiple players over the years. Maybe one player, maybe 1 or 2 players on a squad be able to dominate and win championships. Baseball, you can have a dominant pitcher and win championships. Soccer, you can have a dominant forward and or goalie. That seems to be a little more of a team sport, but you don't have 11 players engaged at the same time on every play. It is truly a sport reliant on every player on the field to do their job in order to be successful. And I think that's why at times, certain star players can get maybe too much credit and maybe too much blame on the flip side, because it does take so many players at the same time in 3 phases to win football games. And I think that's the beauty and the draw of our sport, is that something new happens all the time, because you are literally dealing with 11 humans on the field at one time who all have lives outside of football, and there's distractions, there's a reliance on coaching, there's a reliance on preparation, there's a reliance on diet and performance. I just think there's so many facets to it that you see something new every single week, and I think that's the beauty in our game. When it comes to the love that I have for it, it's rooted, and I think like any player who's played for a long time, the love is not just about our sport, it's about competition. And I think there's nothing in the world for me that fills that need and that hole I have like competition. I think players who play for a long time at a high level, you have that need to be satiated competitively, and it's a love of going out there and going against guys and being in an environment where you know that nothing is guaranteed. And that's why at times I've taken umbrage to people saying that it's easy, because it's not easy. It's never easy. And I think that's the beauty in our game, is that you see things new every single week. It's never easy. And your only thing you're guaranteed is the ability to compete. I love that aspect of it. I love competing. I love going out there and harnessing the fear of failure, where I think so many people who maybe don't love football as much, the root of that is a deep fear of failure, that you might go out there and your best might not be good enough, and that's not okay with you.
He's saying don't go off the top, it's too shallow.
See that belt buckle?
All you're going to hear this stadium do is they put the big paw up, they start shaking it, they go, whoa. Hey, what things are going good, Mason? Yeah, he loves the defensive side of the ball. He said yesterday to me that this is a blue-collar team. They win it on special teams. They have 5 block kicks this season. The defensive side of the ball, Lynch leads the Big 12 in sacks. But also on the offensive side, Denzel Mims is an absolute animal. He is a weapon. Charlie Brewer, the quarterback from Lake Travis. His dad was a quarterback in Texas. Yeah. His grandpa was a quarterback in Texas. And the people here in Waco just so happen to get a chance to see Charlie Brewer on a daily basis.
Okay.
Hey. Yeah, Boomer here is going to mean a little bit different than what it means on the internet currently. And hopefully here in Baylor, they hope they're not hearing a lot of Boomer sooner. Everybody wants to be a punter, including quarterbacks. If I was a quarterback, I'd want to be a punter as well. 0 yards on that punt. That's an embarrassing situation. The Dak dance that gets on national television has led to a lot of losses, but you got to respect the hips being able what sign am I going to make for college game day? Well, I want to make something creative. I want to make something fun. No, to hell with it. I don't like OU. It's so thick. Look how thick that thing is. That's years and years of patience. You're headed right for the boat. Right now? Okay, let's do it. We are out here on the Brazos River, which you can take a boat to the game. One of the only stadiums in the country that you can do that. It's beautiful out here. A lot of people would say, this is the last time I'm going to be on game day. The last time I allegedly did what I'm about to do, I ended up in a jail cell. Let's go! A lot higher than I thought.
You look like Ric Flair.
It was like 5 feet. I was standing there. That's full commitment, by the way. Welcome to Dublin Island on this Feel Good Friday, August 23rd, 2024. We are live from J.R. Mahin's. Drinks are on Pat McAfee tonight, fella. Let's go! Hop, 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 hop. The fact that anybody knows we
we exist in Ireland. We are so incredibly thankful. So to all of you, we say, Gotcha!
State. I just want Kirk to know I got 1,000 phone calls when we got in the playoffs. He didn't have anything to do with them not getting in the playoffs, and I didn't either. But we both got hammered.
Some of us did get hammered last night. We have real football happening today for the first time in months. This is a beautiful time in a wonderful town. It's fight night, baby! Seamus is his name.
We gotta go for Georgia Tech. I gotta go. I would be back in the country if I didn't pick Georgia Tech.
44 yards away to do it. He got it! He got it! And the Yellow Jackets did it!
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, UP! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to Boston Connor and to you all on this Big Time Tuesday, March 18th, 2025. Hour 3 of the program starts now. Madness! Almost happened in the bathroom. AJ Hawk is here, obviously. Shout out to the Ohio State legend. We'll be talking about Ohio State in a matter of moments. One half of the Hammer,
Dahn.
Cowboys. AP Tone is here. Good to see you,
Thank you.
Tone.
Good to see you.
I like the hat, hoodie matching, you know?
Yeah, I don't always. I kind of like to, clash, but I've really just been rocking the tan lately, so I don't really know what
Yeah, you look great. Nice trip to the woods this past weekend. We'll have you buzzing and glowing, some would say. The Talks at Tables here at Ty Schmidt and at Boston Connor. Ty, a little bit of a buzzer beater there for our friend Boston Connor.
Yeah, anytime Connor has to squeeze out a poop in one of the breaks, usually it's not a quick shot. Hey, let's get off this thing. He dropped an absolute nuke in there, and I was thinking he might be gone for 10, 15 minutes.
He was sprinting. As the countdown was happening, he was sprinting across this basketball court and sat down literally at the exact time that the camera came on. That was wonderful timing by you, your bladder, and your butt. I think you should be pretty proud of yourself.
Look, sometimes things just line up for me, and it seems as though during that break it did. And I was worried deep down maybe I was going to come back to you guys talking up here, and I was going to have to take that walk of shame. But some things just work out.
Yeah, especially when you dress that good. Hey, AJ, did you see this fit on this man? This is the best outfit he's ever worn.
Yeah, can we see the pants? So is that a matching jumpsuit you're wearing?
No. This is a sweatshirt from a certain company. These shoes don't really fit, but they're free, so I wear them.
He wears a half size too small shoe.
Yeah,
every day.
Okay, stay light on my feet. It's helped my ping pong game, actually.
Yeah, ping pong is a good battle every day. You and Foxy have been certainly jousting over there. But he dressed good today, and I think that's why the gods kind of blessed you with a moment there to make it back in time. Was hoping very, very much so for a walk of shame.
Yeah. I was ready for it. As I was exiting the bathroom, I was like, okay, let's just see, where we're at. Because I didn't hear anybody talking out here. I figured we were somewhere close to the show, to the program.
There's a nice little social gathering that happens during the breaks out
Oh,
here.
yeah, that's awesome.
Quick sprint to the bathroom, then a nice conversation about everything going on. Did he say a little bit of that? Hey, I just checked my phone. Did you know that he said, I must have missed that. Some people slip some stuff by us. Fun day today, talking about a lot of college basketball. Have no idea if it was good coverage of college basketball or bad coverage of college basketball, but I do know we covered college basketball. And I feel like we're doing what we're supposed to do in the sports world, in the sports media world at this exact time. Because to be clear, when I go home, obviously hang out with baby girl, hang out with the wife. When baby girl goes to bed and we're in front of a TV, I'm trying to find as much information as I can about this March Madness. That is all I'm trying to do. So literally at night, I'm thinking to myself, there needs to be more, this is going to take over our entire lives here.
Without a doubt.
Okay?
Pumped.
Every single year, it takes over everything. I mean, it's Only thing that's on television, only thing that's being talked about, only headlines, and everybody's paying attention to it. I mean, this is just what it is. In some years, we go in, and I feel like I'm unprepared. You know, I feel like I have no clue what is happening. It's all so. This year, I thought that we should at least do a little bit of research. Shout out to everybody that's come by and made us smarter. Patino, Izzo, fucking Seth Greenberg.
Yeah.
I mean, he has been phenomenal in this entire thing.
Yeah, he's incredible, especially when you look at his resume. You know, I feel like sometimes we have people on that maybe are younger in the entire thing. Like he coached for 60 years. Like if anybody knows anything about college basketball, it's him.
And he was excited to come on the show. Very rare.
Yeah.
Very rare.
It is nice.
And which is, you know, that's a cool thing.
He loves ball. Seth Greenberg loves ball, and that comes across when you talk to that guy. Like, he absolutely loves it.
Yeah, and that's all we, you know.
That's all that matters, really.
Hey, all we need is you tell us what the shit we need to look at.
That's right.
We respect your brain. We like how much you love ball. There's some people that obviously think you're wrong. Sometimes you're on TV. But for us, what you're saying right now, gospel. Shout out Florida won the SEC as soon as he told me it was going to happen. He literally was like, Florida, they're going to do this entire thing. The SEC, best conference by far, gave us that information a week beforehand. 14 SEC teams in the thing, break the record. It's like, man, this guy knows. BYU, this team could have a chance to go on an entire run in this. It's like everything he has kind of said to us has. I can't remember all the names. There's a Haggerty somewhere who is
Memphis, I believe.
Memphis, PJ Haggerty of Memphis. I can't wait
There's
to watch
one guy
it.
he keeps
Who is it, Florida?
comparing to Kyrie. I don't know.
Fears.
Outside,
Yeah, Jeremiah Fears at Oklahoma.
Yeah, because he can move now. You know, he can move.
Ball on a string.
Yeah, and UConn, you know, they got a little bit of trouble there because they can't defend the perimeter.
There it is.
I believe is the conversation. Yeah, so we will take
Florida's like Noah's Ark, right? Florida's like Noah's Ark. They got two of everyone.
to everything. So whenever you see two guys down there, yeah, they got them. You're not seeing things with your eyes. They got two of everything. And then Michigan, this team, they got this wolf cat. Oh,
Yeah, Wolf
this
and
guy,
Golden.
This
Twin
guy
Tide.
howls, bro. He's,
Homeless Larry Bird.
Homeless Larry.
yeah, he'll take it off the glass. He'll go outside.
Lottery pick.
Yeah, I mean, a tough draw, this Auburn team.
And then they got this guy, conspiracy, former, what was it?
Clayton, you're talking about?
Former Auburn guard.
Oh, yeah, you're not talking about Clayton down there in Florida. Is formerly Iona,
There you
which
go.
is now
Tino's guy.
obviously St. John.
Conspiracy.
Yeah, conspiracies. I mean, they're all over the place. Italians taking each other on.
Yeah.
I just learned we listened pretty well.
I think so.
I think we
I think
always
that is
have.
the difference between our particular program. We're in the moment. You know, we don't have teleprompter questions that are right in front of it.
Depending on who's
Real
on
thing.
and what we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, there is a little bit of a distraction that potentially happens. There has been basketball shots shot on this particular hoop whenever somebody takes up the full screen.
Sure. Sometimes it's like, hey, we got nothing to talk about. Why don't you come in here? We're going to ask you 6-7 questions, and we're going to let you run.
For 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, there's some talkers that come on here.
One time you were breaking news during someone's interview. I forget who was on, but you were actually walking on the gym court trying to find some breaking news for us.
Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, there's some magic that takes place behind the scenes here, but there's a lot of doofuses going, all right, I'm bored with this guy, or the fans. I assume they are. But we got to show some respect. We can't just kick him off
Like this guy.
in 5-10 minutes. Good person, bad day. Bad day. So let's at least entertain ourselves around here. But shout out to Seth. We've enjoyed his combos.
Hell yeah, Seth.
Good.
Fosso booked Les Snead.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
How about that?
He was good. He was really good.
Fosso did the connect there. Fosso
Really?
did the, yeah, it was good. He knew somebody did something, sent a thing. Now we got to, it's like, thank you. And the way he speaks, awesome. I mean, that was the parameters of an agreement, like that whole, his angle in which he approaches things. Heavy lifter in high school, he said.
Yeah.
Makes sense with
State
the way
champion.
kind of approaches some things.
Yeah, he don't like the safety bar, man. I know that.
Do you have one at the house?
No, I don't. But I that does kind of take some strain off your knees and your back if you use that when you hold on to the front. There's a use to it. But no, I love putting the bar on my back. Like you gotta load your spine. I like that.
You're still squatting?
Yeah, have to. Everybody's scared of losing your cakes. You know that.
Not everybody.
You're the greatest. We've seen the Ozempic just take everybody's cheeks. I think
Just lift. If the people are gonna take it, just lift weights on it. Like you're allowed to lift if you take that stuff.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Go ahead.
People who are taking Ozempic, not real big lifters.
Yeah, taking Ozempic too, not have to really change much, but lose weight. You know.
That's kind of why it's the cheat code.
Yeah, that is what it's. Semaglutide. Wow, this thing just kind of you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And you're just going to lose weight. You're not going to want to eat as much. You might not feel as good all the time, but yeah, you're gonna lose weight quick. We're talking about 20% of your body weight. You wanna knock off 20% of your body weight?
How's that sound?
How's a brand new life look? But it does make you lose your butt cheeks and everything else. You know, you kind of start looking. You can, not everybody, but it seems like one of the side effects of the Ozempic that is not being chatted about is you kind of look like your body just kind of, starts kind of with it, because I think it attacks your muscles too. I think is like so you got to keep working out. You got to keep working out. I agree, but I'm happy they figured that out for people.
Yeah,
legit. I'm happy that happened, because there was people that were just wasting away because they got too heavy, and then their discipline maybe not as great, but they also maybe they get to a point where they want to change it. It's like you're staring down 5 years of commitment here.
Yeah, it's too late.
And it's like too scary, too daunting of a task almost. So the fact that medicine was able to figure out something to get people back into being, potentially active and living their life again, that's good. But you're going to lose your cheeks, though. You're going to lose your cheeks.
It's going to happen.
I don't think you should be putting a metal bar on your spine like AJ's doing. Get that safety rack. I'm definitely going to.
I realized I put the bar low. When I got to the Packers, I realized when I do squats, I put the bar pretty low on my back, like not right on the top of your neck. And I guess that's an Ohio thing. My strength coach like, oh yeah, it's like for some reason kids from Ohio do that.
And is that because you don't want it to be right on the bone at the top? Yeah. I think I was a lower guy too.
Yeah, because some people do put it right in your spine, right in that bone. I'm like, mine's like well down, much farther down than other guys.
I never lifted in high school, and then I get to college with Mike Barwis. Okay, and we're lifting. Okay, we were lifting.
No choice.
We were lifting very hard, very rapidly. We're moving a lot of weight, and it was awesome. Like it was a fun time. But like squatting for the first time, like actually, I was in so much pain in front of everybody. Couldn't though. Couldn't. My legs very strong, upper body not that strong. But spine bone not calloused enough to just have a fucking metal bar just sitting on top of it. So I had to grit and bear through that. That was like a tough 6-7 months of just that thing sitting on there every single time. So I moved that down lower too. I started doing lower. But then your arms much more important to the entire process. I mean, the arms, hey, we're working together with this thing now, because if that fucker slides, you look like the biggest asshole.
Yeah, you're a fool
of all time. Yeah. There's a happy medium there.
Well, that's how it makes it easier to dump the heavyweights. Back in the day when you're doing 1 rep max, you dump it and you run out in front and it drops onto the safety rack.
Yeah. We were never dumping racks, so we were never doing that. Hey, do you still max squat? No way you
No chance. No, I would die.
What are you doing, like 225 for a bunch or?
I mean, depending on how I feel at the moment, but 275 for, a good amount of reps, and then go up 315, go heavy if I need to. Like, high threes.
Oh, yeah, you talked to Tim Tebow
It's not
about max
heavy,
that day.
but
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
How much these
Timmy
guys?
is so jacked, Timmy.
Yeah.
We're not lifting for reps.
You're right.
That's what we said, protein.
Yeah, verbatim.
In iron is all Tim Tebow's on. He is so jacked.
Yeah.
Is he trying to get into one of those shows things?
Good.
Oh, baseball?
He should.
He was in the show for a bit. Remember when he was just hitting dingers in those minor league fields?
Yeah, robbing home runs.
We had like 60, 70.
That was kind of his downfall.
Well, he robbed too many home runs?
No, he was taking headers on fly balls.
No.
Cans of corn that you can't really
Guy hadn't
do.
played in 15 years.
No, I know.
He was trying to get back into the sport. He was under immense spotlight.
You know what he should do is he should play like the competitive softball, because he'd hit it fucking 10,000 feet.
Brother, I did the Oklahoma softball thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about slow pitch or fast pitch?
Yeah, slow pitch.
Yeah, slow pitch, like that. The old dudes are
league.
playing, hitting it.
Hey.
7,000 miles an hour on a line, killing people.
Stu Rolnick pitching for the Big Dogs Bar in Plumboro.
Sure.
Okay, he can throw a knuckler.
Yeah, I bet.
He can throw a knuckler. That ain't. Don't think that ball's just coming up and coming down.
Not from Stu.
That thing, we got a little shake on that thing, a little bit of bake on that thing.
Mm-hmm.
I did the fast pitch thing with those Oklahoma ladies.
Oh yeah, that's no chance.
That's impossible.
No chance.
What, dude? That thing started at my shins and then was at my face before it. They call it the riser. And they say the only way you can beat it is you don't swing, because it's not going to be a strike. But boy, the entire time, that thing looks like it's coming right in there, and then boom, right off your face pretty much. And this lady, I don't remember her name. I think she transferred in from North Carolina. I think. I'm not sure. They were a great team. A lot of moxie on that team.
Yeah.
A lot of moxie. Champions.
Won a lot of games.
Yeah, Patty Gasso. Absolutely.
Patty Gasso.
But they were throwing that shit, and watching, it just gets there so quick, because it's so
45 feet or
48
whatever.
feet, 48, right? Or 45?
Yeah, it's shorter, obviously very short, but like the motion too is almost like because you're like,
baits you.
You're like watching the motion, you know. So if you've never seen anything, and I was lucky because like punt snaps, they kind of throw from under here, and they have to find the laces. So like I was kind of a little comfortable with, but the first couple of times I sat in there, I'm like, I don't know how anybody hits this thing ever. And then I finally make contact, but it was shit. It was absolute shit. Those are hard. Those are how do MLB guys do against it? Great, I assume, or they do, because the ball is bigger. So I assume that would help.
And I would assume so because those guys, even though it is closer, like they're facing guys like, Skenes who are throwing like 102. Like your reaction time still has to be pretty fucking good.
College guys, though. College dudes struggling with fast pitch.
Like the elite guys, probably not, but I bet a lot of dudes would, because you're just not used 45, 48, like that is, your reaction time has to be so quick.
The ball movement was insane, though.
Mm-hmm.
That thing was like, and I think because it's bigger, more surface area, can actually potentially a little bit more movement on that thing, but it looks very good until about right here, and then
and if you do square one of those up, like you're hitting homer, because the fields are 200 feet around, so it's like if you make good contact, you're giving it a ride.
It's a great sport. I enjoyed it. It was electric, and they pack out a stadium out there.
Oh yeah.
So I assume the environment is one, and that's always something that happens. Omaha takes place, then the softball one happens, and we watch it for like 2 weeks or a week or whatever, and we're like, that's electrifying, and then we move on. And then I step in a batter's box and I watch this shit. I'm like, geez Louise. No. Oklahoma's going to win again, I think. From what I saw, they are reloaded. They got and Patty Gas will fight you.
Yeah.
She's a dog.
Baseball started today. The MLB started its actual season today, AJ. I don't know if you know that. Ty, what the hell happened in Japan?
Yeah, the Tokyo series. So the Dodgers and the Cubs played, obviously, Shohei and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, but they also signed Roki Sasaki. So, basically all the best players in Japan play for the Dodgers right now, so it kind of makes sense. Hey, we'll go over a little bit early and kind of start the season this way. It's a big deal, be able to give back to the people in Japan. It's the first time ever that 2 Japanese pitchers started an opening day for the MLB, because obviously he changed his name because he just wants to go by Mike. We had him on the show. Imanaga for the Cubs was the starting pitcher, so it is kind of weird because they start...
Just Mike Imanaga?
Yeah. You don't remember that?
Like Giancarlo Stanton?
Yeah, you don't remember that? He's like, I just want to be one of the guys in the clubhouse, okay? I don't want it to be. So on my nameplate, just fucking call me Mike. I don't need people messing up my name or anything like that.
Okay.
I love Mike.
Shota Imanaga is a great name.
Exactly. It
Mike,
is.
also a good name.
But he was just like, you know what? I kind of like Mike. So just...
So
call me Mike.
Mike Imanaga took on Yamamoto.
Correct.
And
did he change his name or no?
No, he is Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Shohei still Shohei.
Yeah, he the thing that if you're a casual, watcher of baseball, the thing that obviously everyone knows about Shohei, but he is so fun to watch because he tries to hit a home. He swings so violently every single time, no matter what. It's just a run of the mill single, but boy, did he hit the
500 miles an hour.
Yeah, he hits it so hard. He had a double later. Imanaga actually threw 4 innings of no-hit ball. And for whatever reason, the Cubs decided to take him out after 69 pitches. They said, hey, 70 pitches is going to be kind of your mark. You're going to be done after that. Of course, they go to the bullpen, and then, boom, the Dodgers put up 4 runs almost immediately. They lose the game. So it's kind of one of those...
Classic Cubs.
Yeah, classic Cubbies. And that's what a lot of people were saying, awesome that the Cubs could give us our first bonehead decision of the MLB season so early in Japan. This guy's there in front of his, he's back home. A lot of fans there. He's pitching unbelievably. He had 4 walks, so his pitch count was getting up a little bit, but they hadn't got a hit off him, and then they decided to yank him. And obviously, the Dodgers, right as they yank him, boom, they just fucking attack the bullpen pitcher, the relief pitcher, and put up 4 runs almost instantly, win the game. We got another game tomorrow. Roki Sasaki, the other big, kind of the next. I won't say the next Shohei, but in terms of pitching prospects, he was a guy who every MLB team wanted. He's going to pitch for the Dodgers tomorrow.
So Central America big for baseball, right?
Yes.
South America,
same deal.
I assume
Same deal,
as well. And Japan has had a deep history, right, in sport of baseball, and they love it.
They 40,000 people people were at the Tokyo Dome, they said the cheapest ticket in like the nosebleeds up there, I think, was like anywhere from like $3,000 to $5,000. So they said like it's like impossible to get into the stadium. But yeah, the fans over there are rabid. They love it.
What was the number, the global audience for Shohei's first playoff? Obviously, they win the World Series.
It was insane.
Fox reported some absurd. Do you remember that, AJ? Whenever it was like the total audience, global audience that was watching, because they started selling ads for Japanese companies.
Right. 30.
And 30 million. Yeah, 30 million people watched a baseball game or whatever. And they're like 10 maybe in America, maybe 8 in America, and then like 20 plus in Japan. And the time difference was so insane. It's like Shohei obviously is, he's spectacular. It is phenomenal to watch this dude, especially the way he goes about it. Like just like this calm confidence and obsession with baseball, if you listen to what everybody's saying. And remember, he was a victim. Like a very, very, very huge amount of money was stolen from him by the guy who was his mouth and ears. And is supposed to be his tag team partner and like his best friend, I would assume, in this entire thing. Robbed him to start his entire career, almost tanked his entire legacy before it even started. And all he has done is just remain committed to ball and trying to become his absolute best. He goes to the Dodgers. They have great success his first year there winning. And he's one of the boys now, it feels like. Yeah. And baseball, I assume everybody is very thankful in baseball that Shohei's playing, but I am as well, because I'm intrigued to watch this guy do his thing. Is he ever going to get back to pitching?
He's going to pitch this year.
Okay.
Which, if you're a Dodgers fan, obviously it's awesome, but because of how special he is at the plate, I do just kind of worry about that, because that would be like the one way to kind of shorten his career, like if he has any arm issues or anything like that. I mean, he did still hit last year, but like if he would need Tommy John because of it or something, like he's just so special at the plate. He's the first guy ever last year to hit 50 homers, steal 50 bases. Like if he wants to, he could hit 60 homers and steal 60 bases. Like he's a unicorn. So it's one of those things where their pitching staff is already so good. They got Blake Snell, who was arguably one of like the top free agent pitchers. They have Tyler Glass now, who former Pirate, like he is also a stud. He got hurt last year and didn't play. Like they are so deep pitching wise that they almost don't need.
So could they like put him on an alternate rotation? Like, hey, every 2 rotations you're going to get a game or something? Is that would that happen?
They probably could do that, but I think, and he is different, so maybe it would be different. But I feel like those guys are such creatures of habit that it'd be weird. And now maybe if it was set like, hey, you're going to pitch every 10 days as opposed to every 5 days, then it might work out. But for the most part, those guys, like, they just, we've never seen that.
Guy.
Yeah, exactly.
This guy's awesome, AJ.
He is.
I love him. I love Shohei. That's why I was so, bummed out that he was taken advantage of. And I think a lot of people didn't think it was possible for him to be taken advantage of. And then the more that's coming out, it's like, this guy.
That guy in jail?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
5 years.
Yeah, he better be.
And there's a lot of like evidence coming out now about the phone calls and the way he was working and who he was tricking and how it was all happening. It's like, he fucked over Shohei Ohtani in
Big time.
Massive, massive way. And he never, right? This guy never flinched.
No, I mean, like you said, like he had arguably the best offensive season ever for a player. And every time like they would show him to, like his demeanor, like he was always laughing in the dugout, always smiling, always having fun. Like whereas, a lot of guys, especially you're in a different country, like that could really fuck with you. And if he ever needed an excuse to be like, hey, this is why I didn't have a very good season last year.
There's a lot of them there.
Yeah, exactly. And what do? Like he wins a World Series and has, a season that people will be talking about 50 years from now.
So you got Shohei, then you got Skenes, obviously.
Yeah.
And Skenes was named the opening day starter in a video that was released by the Pittsburgh Pirates. And you got a lot of people going like, yeah, the sky is sometimes blue and everything like that. But remember last year he wasn't even on the Buccos at this point.
Right.
Not too long ago, this dude was pitching for LSU. And then he was here with the Indianapolis Indians downtown selling this place out.
Yeah.
I mean, just everybody was coming to watch the AAA affiliate for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Not that they don't always do, because it's a beautiful stadium. It is a beautiful night out here in Indy. But, like, you'll get, let's say, 60% full. Every time Skenes was on there, that place was packed out. Ticket prices were going up $50, $60, whatever it was. Then he goes right to the Pirates. Same thing. Must-watch television. He performed wonderfully. Now, it wasn't always good wood whenever he was pitching, so maybe we didn't get all the outcome we needed. Adds 2 pitches. Now he's the opening day ace for the Pirates. And he is channel changer worthy.
Without a doubt.
And I think a lot of people feel that way. So you got Shohei, you got Skenes. He's only upped his game, right? Skenes in this entire thing?
Yeah, I mean, same deal. He had never faced like MLB hitters last year, but like when you have stuff like he does, it doesn't matter. And he is another one of those guys where like as long as he stays healthy, he's going to be in contention to be like a Cy Young every single year. And that moment where he gets told that he's starting opening day, like that was really sweet because obviously like that's a moment he's dreamed of his entire life. Probably he obviously probably knew that was going to be the case. I mean, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. He damn near won the Cy Young last year as a rookie, but just like being told that, like I'm sure that is something that he'll remember forever too.
Yeah, baseball seemingly has those moments,
when guys get called up to the big leagues and stuff like that.
Yeah, starting.
Yep.
There's
how many years till the Yankees snatch him up though, Ty?
Whenever he's available.
7.
Everybody needs to relax. Okay.
Oh, it's gonna be. They got him for 7 years.
They got him for a decent amount. Yeah.
That's a long time.
He's got to be able to opt out, doesn't he?
Let's see.
He doesn't want to. He's a Pittsburgh boy. You see that mustache he's got?
He's got a beard now.
He's looking unbelievable.
Yeah.
And he's got that. He's super calm.
Jeez.
Super duper humble. Like unbelievable humility.
Very chill.
Wanted to be a fighter pilot, in this entire thing. Still, I think donates to the military and things like that. He's got a new one. You see off to the right whenever he gets somebody, because there's a couple moments where he gets a strike and there's like he times up the. Yeah, he's got a couple new little. Oh, we're vibing right now.
Pizzazz.
And he's added 2 pitches. And to your point about last year, at this point, he had never faced MLB hitters. So like now he has like half a season of experience.
Kind of knows how to get guys out. Certain guys, like the really good guys, it's like, okay, he doesn't do as well with this pitch, or like he doesn't like this area, or I can get him to, look on this pitch, or,
What did he add? What are the 2 pitches he added? Do we remember what they were? He added 2 pitches this offseason.
I don't know what 2 pitch, but like that's something that's what they say. Like when these guys actually get to the big leagues and they get like where you're not doing anything else and this is a full-time job, like when you have the ability to kind of manipulate the baseball like he does, like, they talked about his splinker that no one else had, like, but when a guy throws this hard, sometimes they don't have to rely as much on off-speed pitches, but that would be the thing. Like he'll add a couple plus.
Yeah, what were they? What were the 2 pitches?
Cutter and a sinker.
Cutter and a sinker. So that's junk. Is that what that's considered?
Like variations of a fastball, but just like that. The movement is like, those could potentially be a couple more out pitches, because that is one thing like people would start to know, like you get down 0-2 and they talked about the splinker all last year. It's like you kind of understand that, but also like, like Mariano Rivera threw a cutter. So like if he gets guys on base and he wants to jam guys up and try to, like turn double plays and stuff like that, like these are just options where, because he's a strikeout pitcher, like, and if you want to kind of manage how many pitches he's going to throw in a game, because it's one of those things when you're striking out a shitload of guys, like they don't want him throwing over 100 pitches every game. Like they want him to have some quick innings, so you implement like a cutter and a sinker where you're going to induce a lot more like ground outs and stuff like that. Like that might be what they're thinking.
Jeez.
Is the replay going to be live this year?
Yeah.
That we
I think
saw?
so. I think I saw some tapping of a helmet or something.
No, it was just spring training.
Yeah,
they're trying it
they're
out.
not doing it.
So no new rules this year.
Right. Just it'd be all the same, like pitch clock and all that kind of shit is still instituted, but yeah, not going to the replay for, balls and strikes.
Okay, so are we going to pay attention more to this baseball season? Because the Mets are now the Kings of New York.
They're not, but, hey, they could be. Season hasn't started yet.
Broncos will be good, so.
What happened to the Yankees? The Yankees are in a bad spot.
I mean, yeah, it hasn't been the greatest spring, to say the least.
It's a big boom curve.
But, yeah.
But did you see what the Big Booms did for somebody else? They did something else. Somebody won a bunch. The Big Booms.
Who was that?
Who?
I don't
L.A.
know.
Kings 6 goals straight since they.
I thought that was the Rizzler.
Byfield. Yeah, the Rizzler was there for that though.
Well, again, they're just guns for hire, so they can act like they're Yankee fans. But again, until Aaron Judge,
All right. Yep.
batters them to a bloody pulp, whichever one they want to put up for it that's their call. But no, we'll see. I mean, I'm what are you talking about? What do you mean?
It's
unbelievable. It's serious business.
I'm a Boom fan. We're all big Boom fans.
I was. And you know what? I should have known when they went into Texas Roadhouse and did what they did. I should have known a little bit.
True.
Maybe I need to look into these folks a little bit more.
The Texas Roadhouse thing was wild. It made me want to go to Texas Roadhouse to show my allegiance to Texas Roadhouse.
I did.
For sure.
Yeah, me too. Me and the wife did as well. Yeah. Sat right down there at the bar. Hey, I need one of your chilled salads that are unbelievable.
Chicken critters are unbelievable.
Fantastic. The fries, the loaded steak fries, come on. The ranch dressing there better than anywhere else.
Yep.
And then the chicken fried steak. How you doing? Keep it moving. How many booms? All of the booms. So we're going to disagree on some things.
Sure.
But they did say that the Yankees, since the booms have happened, has not been great. What about the World Series performance? We don't have to throw more people under it all, but Ice Cube out in L.A. Okay, today was a good day.
No, Fat Joe is certainly to blame as well.
I don't think Fat Joe.
He is.
He was just showing up for the team, just like Tracy Morgan was last night.
Well, yeah. I hope he's doing okay.
We are happy to report via Tracy Morgan's Instagram that it was food poisoning, and he is A-okay.
Okay, good.
That's it.
He also mentioned that thanks, obviously, to all the staff and his people for taking care of him. And he said, hey, they're undefeated when I puke on the court, so I might need to bring this back in the playoffs. And I'll tell you what, he's got the Knicks on his phone cover. I assume that Tracy Morgan would force himself to puke later if it was an actuality of them being undefeated. But yeah, this hit the internet, and obviously with everything that's happened around Tracy Morgan, I think a lot of people were like, "Is he okay?
Sopranos guy right there.
My
Bobby
own.
Bacala.
I don't think Bobby Bacala wants to see that again.
Yeah, Bobby goes to every game, though. Bobby shoots some shit there. Yeah.
He does.
He's Madison Square Garden, Tracy Morgan puking all over my goddamn shoes.
A lot of puke.
These shoes? Yes, these shoes. So it was puke, and then there was some blood, and I think all of us were just like, we hope everything. Is he okay? Turns out it was food poisoning, and he said he'll be back. Don't you worry about it.
Okay.
You need some more puke, too. We'll get it. That was a lot of vomit.
Yeah, it was a lot.
That was crazy.
Definitely splashed all over the court, too. It definitely splashed off that wood.
Yeah, and definitely, you saw the girl sitting 2 down. She had boots on, I think, but she was even like, oh.
Jeez.
Because some people get a little woozy.
Absolutely.
Chain reaction.
Yeah.
Whenever they see it. Yeah, this is, okay, there it is.
Yep.
It was a stream.
It was.
And that was, get out of my body. You know, there was something in there that was, get me out of here.
Violent.
Yeah. Happy he's okay. Tracy, we're happy you're okay.
Oh, yeah,
Tracy.
You ever watch his comedians in cars getting coffee with Seinfeld?
I think I have seen it.
He has like a Lambo or a Ferrari or something. They pull up at his house. He's got this gated area in New York City, I think. Beautiful home. You go through it, Tracy talking. I love that show.
Great show.
It was really good. It was really good. They also made a tank for him on that fish tank. When they used to build fish tanks for people, they built a sweet one for Tracy.
Tanked, I think is the name of that? Yeah, I remember that show. Yep, all right. We've all watched the same things, but you guys have watched a lot more than me. But if I've watched it, I think that means everybody has watched it.
Do you know that Paul Tootle Jr. and Sr. built him a chopper as well? Or?
Listen, the Orange County Choppers, okay? It's the tunnels.
I know, but that's how it's spelled.
And you need to have a little bit of respect for the boys.
I do. I respect those guys arguably more than anyone else in the United States.
I wanted a chopper as soon as I seen one. I think they put a Spider one out, or I think it was.
They did a Yankees one, too. Sweet Yankees bike.
Yeah.
You should get one.
They were so fiery.
They were
so fiery.
They loved yelling.
Junior was just trying to do his art.
I know.
Senior was like, "This is my show still," and it was. That
Senior's
fucking
kicking through doors, kicking through those flimsy doors in that office.
bro. This chair right here, no shot.
No.
This thing's on wheels and grabbable. Paul Tuttle Senior's going to send this fucker through a window. Yeah. He's tired of it too, Junior.
Yeah.
He's tired of it. I don't have time. What a show. And Mikey? Fucking Mikey.
Yep. Just a goofball.
Mikey was such a goober, wasn't he?
He was.
Why does Junior look so small now? He's not a small guy.
Well, this is when he was younger. Obviously, look at the age of Mike. You know, we can tell by the hair and the style of Mikey. Hey, we appreciate what you guys did. All those Orange County Choppers look like they were very easy to ride and
comfortable.
Fun.
They need to have him play Hogan in the biopic.
Mikey or Senior?
Yeah, biopic. The senior.
Oh, okay. I didn't know Mikey.
Yeah,
Mikey had
the
no
senior.
personality.
They both. He can play his son.
They introduced me to the first ever, I believe it's called a suicide shift or something like that, where it's like an actual gear shift on the bike.
Yeah.
As opposed to like the.
So Brad Pitt had one of those. I saw him riding around doing that.
Yeah, that seems dangerous. That seems like that's a bad idea.
That's how the name came apart.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. How are they getting gas in some of those tanks, too? Some of those tanks were real slender. So I'm like, am I getting down the road here and then we got to refill? And then they'd always have an answer. Got a second tank, you know, down here. It's like, thank you, Orange County.
Too.
What have we not talked about today that we needed to hit? We hit baseball. We hit not well enough, though. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is the senior insider for the MLB at ESPN. Man who is the voice of a generation for a sport that is called America's oldest pastime. Ladies and gentlemen, Jet Pass.
Yeah, Jet.
Jet, hey, did you watch the Tuttles make motorcycles?
Yeah, I did. They were brilliant. I loved them. It all goes back to the scene in Pulp Fiction where Butch is confronted by his girlfriend saying, "What's that?" And he says, "It's a chopper." And she says, "Can we get on your motorcycle?" And he's like, "No, that's a chopper, baby. That's Zed's." Who's Zed? Zed's dead. And I love the whole scene. So ever since then, I will
You're
never
a
ride a
Chopper
motorcycle.
fan since then, since Zed's
Hell yeah, I'm
death.
a Chopper fan.
Got it. Rest in
Yes.
peace to Zed. I don't know what Zed did. I don't remember Pulp Fiction exactly, but
Not great.
Zed deserved it.
Rest in piss, Zed.
Yeah,
Rest
yeah,
in piss,
yeah.
Zed. That's what I think. And he enjoyed choppers. Choppers are a wonderful bike. My first bike was a chopper. Extended front end, it has a longer, that's kind of the chopper. You chop it up, you do the whole thing. And I've always wanted an Orange County chopper. Maybe today's the day we pull park
Get
right
one,
now.
Patrick.
I think senior and
What's
junior
keeping
still
you?
doing things separate. I don't know. To be honest, I just got reminded of it. Probably will happen by the end of the week. Speaking of, by the end of this week, the actual MLB season won't have started, but we've already had 2 games. Now, this is the second year, I believe, that the MLB has done this, where the games are international to start the season, but it's not actually. Everybody else is still in preseason. I love this move, because it's kind of a teaser to the regular season coming. And also the environment, I wasn't up for it, but seeing the clips, electrifying over there. Now,
Amazing.
is Shohei the reason for this all happening? And how often will we have this type of international crossover going forward?
I mean, Shohei's the reason for everything in baseball now, right? Like it's been a quarter century since baseball's had a star like an star with international appeal like Shohei Ohtani. And the fact that they can go to Tokyo, and it's not just Shohei, right? Yoshinobu Yamamoto starts the game for the Dodgers. Shota Imanaga starts the game for the Cubs. Seiya Suzuki's hitting second for the Cubs. Shohei's hitting leadoff. Roki Sasaki starting game 2 for the Dodgers. Baseball has been trying to catch up internationally to other sports over the last decade or so. And we had the games in Korea last year, and they've gone to Japan before. I remember back in 2008, the A's and the Red Sox started the season there, and that was my first time visiting Japan. So this isn't anything that's new necessarily, but there's just a lot more resonance now because Japan is such an integral part of where baseball is now and where it wants to be. And listen, there are not a lot of countries around the world, Pat, where baseball is the number one sport. It is unquestionably so in Japan. So to see the game start in that environment, to see Ohtani get to play in front of a country where he's absolutely revered, I think was a really cool thing for the sport.
I think we heard whenever Shota talked to us last year through a translator. First of all, he was awesome on our show. Said, "Call me Mike." Put the whole thing in
funny,
there.
dude.
He is awesome. They need to showcase him more, and obviously starting on opening day here for the Cubs and throwing a no-hitter through 4, and then obviously them pulling him in his home country on opening day. Nonetheless, that's it's old conversation there. But whenever you think about, I forget which direction I was headed with this, but fucking Shohei getting their entire country to kind of rally behind it, and then the numbers are like 30 million, right, for that first playoff game, I think is what they said internationally. Would behoove the MLB to do more over there, right? Because a lot of these guys, didn't they say, and I think, this is where it was, Shota said like he almost didn't want to leave Japan. Like some of these people don't want to leave Japan because of what baseball is over there. So if like Shohei is now playing back in Japan a couple times a year, Shota's playing a couple times back in Japan, I think that's a big decision for a lot of these Japanese baseball players, right? Isn't that something, if I was hearing them correctly?
Oh, 100%. I mean, think about this, Pat. Think about you wanting to do the thing that you love at the absolute highest level possible. And look, Japanese baseball is very good. it's not Major League Baseball. The level of competition in MLB is just so much higher than everywhere around the world. And so if you want to test yourself as an athlete, if you want to push yourself to be the best you can be, you go to Major League Baseball in spite of the cultural differences and of the things that you are missing at home. You make yourself uncomfortable. And I think that discomfort, for a lot of guys, it's what fuels them, that they don't want to be the person who went across the ocean to play the game they love and came back home as a failure. And so having that pushing them and getting to bring that to Japan, where they so deeply appreciate the sport and appreciate all the beauties of it. I understand there are a lot of fans right now who are like, why are you starting the season somewhere else? And to that I say, let's remember, this is not about today for Major League Baseball. This is not about this year. This is about a game that doesn't have as much resonance in the United States as it did once upon a time. And so how can we figure out where to find that resonance? And if you can find that in Japan, if you can find that in other countries, then why wouldn't you bring your product there and spread the love?
And showcase it.
Yeah.
Like baseball showcasing how much it's loved in Japan, I think is a good thing. Like for me, I'm watching that environment. I'm like, damn, they love baseball is
love it.
Huge in Japan. Yeah, it's like cool for me to see. I didn't wake up for it, but like the clips, it is certainly something. Ty has some questions for you.
I'll tell you, Pat, I'll tell you what it reminds me of quickly. Sorry to interrupt there. What it reminds me of is baseball in the Dominican Republic and in Venezuela and in Cuba and all throughout Latin America, where it's not a pastime, it's a passion. And the lack of passion domestically around Major League Baseball is alarming for the sport. But to go and find it in other places and to show fans in the United States what baseball can be like. Baseball in Latin America, in the Caribbean, in Japan reminds me a lot of college football, just in how much pride people take in their teams and how truly deeply devoted they are to it.
To that point, college baseball, right? Some of these college baseball teams we'll see out of the SEC most
in the South, certainly. Right?
Don't want to, continue to toot Greg Sankey's horn down there, but geez Louise, it seems like down in the South, their baseball teams are very passionate. I still remember, I think it was Ole Miss hit a dinger, first one out of COVID. First thing we saw.
Yep.
Live audience was college baseball home run. Everybody in the outfield packed. Beers, waters, going bananas. It's like, that looks like a whole different sport. And then the Savannah Bananas, they're selling out a stadium.
No.
Boys!
Won't go there. But
what do you no, that is awesome. That's good for the sport of baseball as well.
Very cool, but that ain't baseball, and even I know that. 1, 2, 3 right now.
Zany.
1, 2, 3 right now is SEC teams for the rankings in college baseball.
So what you're saying, though, is it does exist out there. There's a chance it continues to grow, but showcasing it from other places is not a bad thing, especially if it's going home from a place that's 16-hour time difference. I mean, it is opposite side of Earth and it all. Okay, Ty has some questions for you, Jet.
Yeah, Jet, to your point about how good baseball is in Japan, but still not obviously being on the level of the MLB. I mean, we saw a couple of the Japanese teams win exhibition games early here. Do you think the success that some of these guys have had in the MLB, do you think the dam is about to break for Japanese players coming over and playing in the MLB anytime soon? I mean, we've seen that kid who was the home run record in Japan in high school, who played at Shohei's high school, and he's at Stanford. He just hit a couple fucking nukes recently. So obviously these guys are kind of starting to come over more, but do you think the dam is really about to break and we're about to see a whole bunch of Japanese players coming in and playing in the MLB soon?
Yeah, Ty, you're talking about Rintaro Sasaki at Stanford, and, there are a couple of young right-handers, Shumpeta Yamashita and Hiroto Takahashi, who are in their early 20s and thriving in Nippon professional baseball. And one of the things about baseball that the modern era and the technology that we have now has provided is we know who's going to be good when they come here. We know what pitch shapes look like. We know what quality stuff is. We know what a good swing is. So it's not quite as much of a guessing game as it was in the past. And if you have a guy who is going and performing, it's not just about his ERA anymore. It's, okay, what is the shape of his fastball and how does he throw his splitter, and all these different elements that allow us a better understanding of what a player actually is. And yeah, because of that, I think there is going to be a flood of players who are coming over. It's not going to be in the immediate future, but I think now that Japan understands, okay, this is what players have to look like in order to go to Major League Baseball, a lot more players are going to focus their training on reaching that ultimate goal of MLB.
I've never seen.
He's a dog.
Okay, that's my first time with eyes.
What?
Big old boy.
Gone.
He's a thick boy, Patrick.
That's my first time seeing it. Yeah, that was my first time with that because Ty's been talking this guy up like he is the next one when it comes to hitting in this entire thing. That's my first time seeing him. I love that. That's good for baseball.
Yeah, he's not going to be getting a whole lot of extra base hits. He's not going to be stealing a whole lot of bases. But
hey, that's like one of the things about baseball, though. Like you think about football, any body type can play. Baseball has always had that same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball has always had that kind of relatability. You know, and I'm not saying this guy isn't a freak athlete, which he certainly is.
That one. Just
look at that swing.
Ty loves this guy. Jet.
I mean,
called him the next Babe Ruth. Is that what you said, Ty?
yeah, he kind of looks like Babe Ruth too in his like Stanford headshot. If you just put like a stubby little cigar and maybe put like a hot dog in his breast pocket, we have Japanese Babe Ruth.
And he's
you know who he looks like? He looks like Prince Fielder. That's what he is.
It's a good comp.
Not a tall guy, but and Prince, like, I think there was a mistake among fans who thought like Prince Fielder was fat. He was not fat. They're just these bodies that are like bundles. No. I'm telling you,
he had some cushion.
It's a bundle of muscle. It's
Mo
just like a
Vaughn ran
rectangular.
Connor doesn't believe
Hey,
you. Connor doesn't believe
I know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Connor's got a lot of room for talking about guys with bad bodies.
That's what I'm saying.
Jeez Louise.
Takes one to know one, Jet. I know one when I see it.
Yeah, I got a bad body for it too, But if you do add any thickness at all, it's very visible, with the way a body is built. So, yes, I agree. All these dudes that play baseball and are bigger have to be ridiculously strong. Like, that is something they have to have. But they might be comfortable. They might get comfortable.
They got hands. They got that hand speed, man.
Ping pong, I bet they are. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
I bet those big boys dominating.
Yeah.
Ping pong tables. I didn't even think about that.
Without a doubt.
Horse games probably pretty good.
Not bad.
Best ping pong player in Major League Baseball is Bruce Graterol, who's like 6'3", 300 pounds. So there you go.
It's good body.
Bingo. He's a wall too. 6'3", he's a wall.
Yeah.
That's tough to get back. If you just keep it on the table, obviously that's good. The guy who would probably win if they did have an actual ping pong tournament, just because that's what he does, Paul Skenes. Where are we at with Paul Skenes?
I talked to Paul Skenes today for about 90 minutes, actually. It was like the first real sit-down conversation that I've had with him. And he might be the most impressive, just like as a human being, as like the most impressive young baseball player I've seen in the 25 or so years that I've been doing this. He just has it together. Like, he gets it. He knows who he is. He knows what he wants to be. He has so many of these external distractions that could just waylay him away from his goals. But the fact that he spent those 2 years at Air Force getting to know himself, preparing him for the time that he spent at LSU, which prepared him for Major League Baseball, like, I just came away so impressed by the guy. He really gets it.
Absurdly humble, isn't he?
Yeah.
But you're talking about him knowing who he is, too. It's like he knows, too. Yeah, like he knows he's a guy. Let's not waste it. Let's make the most of it. And then also, let's try to get better and better. We just talked about it. He added a sinker and a cutter this offseason. Uh-oh. Jets connection is unstable.
Jet.
Don't want to talk about the Pirates. I mean, I get it.
That does make sense.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Passan.
Hey,
Jet.
Thanks, Jet.
You can learn more about that 90-minute sit-down that Jeff Passan had with Paul Skenes somewhere at some time.
JetPassan.com.
Probably going to air it somewhere.
All right, what did we not talk about? Raw yesterday. Brussels was awesome. That was a bummer not being there.
Yeah. Start was sweet.
John Cena. He's mad at me. I'm a fan. What's he mad at me for?
You guys are making
What
his
he's doing.
jokes.
He's on the warpath.
The invisible joke is funny, dude.
Yeah, come on.
Dude, it's funny.
And don't call that little kid a son of a bitch.
Well, the kid was being a son of a bitch.
No, he wasn't. The kid was just having a time.
That kid was in shock after that.
As he should have been.
Yeah, that might change the trajectory of his life.
Go on, bub. You can be the next John Cena when John Cena stood for all good things.
Mm-hmm.
John Cena seemed to be a little bit upset with the way he's been treated over the last 25 years. You know, because there's always been the "Let's go Cena."
Cena sucks.
People. It's always been. Even whenever he was going out there every single day, every single night, living on the road, committing his whole life to it. Boom, boom, boom. Lucky to do it, thankful to do it, making the most wishes in the history of Make-A-Wish. You know, boom, boom, boom. Cena sucks. You tell it was just kind of the whole time.
Yep.
Had it on.
And then when push came to shove, what'd he do?
He snapped.
He said, I'm done with this. This is my last opportunity to let these people know that I don't like the way they treated me.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that a lot yesterday.
He did. Bone was weeping in here.
Yeah, it was
sad.
Because he called out Bone.
He did.
Yeah.
He said, the Let's Go Cena people is who he talked to.
Mm-hmm.
You're just as despicable as these
you're
people.
pathetic.
He's talking to Bone.
Yeah.
That kid was Bone in an alternate universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, younger.
Started
They
yelling.
look just like.
Go, John!
Belgian Bone.
Belgian Bone and D-Bone here suffered the same fate yesterday, which was heartbreak.
Yeah.
Because the things that John Cena said, I was bummed out as well. I was bummed out. I hope he finds some happiness in there and knows that there's a lot of us that respect the work you've done, John.
Yeah.
A lot of us respect, massive respect and gratitude for, the work. And just because we said, let's go Cena every once in a while, I was just trying to tell you that.
Trying to get behind you.
I didn't like what I heard from him.
Me neither.
Love what I heard from
You
Cody
should start
Rhodes.
rapping again.
He should start. Thugonomics should have got out there.
He should have.
I thought maybe he was going to come out and just talk about how great he was. Isn't that a...
Yeah.
I thought he was talking about...
He could have.
Instead, he came out and said, let me tell you how terrible you are. So, geez Louise, bub. All right. Some people say he was patting.
You could argue he was patting.
He was.
I saw people saying he was patting, AJ. Did you see that? It's
I did see that.
It's 3:10 in the afternoon, and John Cena's patting. That's what I saw people saying. Because when you were listening to him, it was a little bit of that. I was just saying that John Cena. I know,
He was just telling the truth.
and that's what he
Just
said.
got off the movie set. He has a quick break from the movie set whenever he's filming, jumping off,
He's a wrestler.
helicopters. He's got a lot in his mind.
There's no movie sets. He's John Cena. He's a wrestler.
You're right.
He is a professional wrestler.
He's also a professional actor that's going to win an Academy Award someday.
Yeah, we would assume that is the case.
Wasn't acting yesterday.
I agree. Maybe was that the? No,
It better not have been.
that wasn't the what Cena has always been.
It better not
That's-
be.
No way. No way.
That's what the champ said.
Because as I was watching, I had a good setup in here yesterday watching. Wish I was there. Crowd was electrifying. Shout out to the Brussels crowd.
Shout out.
Merci beaucoup. Pour passion. Pour tout passion. Wow, you get it. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was an awesome show.
It was.
Adam Pearce was in the middle of it.
It was.
Adam Pearce was really in the middle of it. I mean, he went from one thing, boom, right to another. Just bang, out the back. Coming in the gorilla, what are you doing with the contract? I need a contract. To Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
And then once I don't know how it got settled in gorilla, then he pokes his head out and boom, there's a fight happening.
I know.
Jeez Louise.
People going nuts.
Trying to put out fires all night.
Literally.
Yeah.
In a different country?
Yeah, it's
know.
Brussels.
That is Brussels. It was awesome over there. Cena was not happy. He was potty. People were saying he was potty.
Potting a bit.
He was.
I don't like potty Cena.
No,
Me neither.
That better not be who, actually.
it won't be.
I mean,
What's the final boss got to say about what Cena said there?
Maybe Cena's taking orders from the final boss, and he's just a puppet
He
again.
wouldn't do that.
On location, WrestleOps is reporting via Professional Wrestling Insider. On Location, which is the company that kind of does all the event stuff, is offering a special intimate meal with John Cena at a 5-star restaurant during WrestleMania 41 week. Going for $25,000 a person. All right, we're going to do that. So
That's it.
So, how many people? How many people do we?
Is it a table of 100? Like, what do they limit this?
Imagine we just circled John for a dinner, just us.
I think it's
He's
just
joining us for a dinner.
you, Bone, and
He's got to
Cena.
sit in the middle.
Yeah, right in the middle.
Bone would do
It's like
much
in the
more
round,
than
and we're all sitting around
25K.
Yeah. Bone. Bone. What if it was just you and Cena in there?
Oh,
Can
please.
you imagine face to face?
We bought all 10 spots just for you, Bone.
But
Wouldn't you want to tell him, like, hey, I was a Let's Go Cena guy from the very beginning? Is that what you would want to say, Bone? Or how'd you feel about yesterday? Were you were a little heartbroken like that little kid from Belgium, that little Belgium Bone boy?
No, not really. I went home and did some reflecting, and I think we did fuck up.
Can
as
you?
fans.
Can you? Oh my God! No. Foxy, can we get a camera straight on his face and then put that kid? Because you do look.
Looks just like him.
You look exactly like the kid. We're going to probably use this one here, so you can just go right back in the mic.
Be quick. He smells so bad.
No, he doesn't.
What?
That's because he's been crying all night. That's because Bone's been crying all night. Because, Belgian Bone.
Do the same face as the kid.
Here we go. Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, he was not smiling.
Yeah, it looks a little more shocked.
Hey, act like you were acting whenever John Cena came out and said it was your fault.
Yeah, a little frown.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
2 different continents, 2 different age groups.
Same kid.
2 different humans, same kid. Same bum back
Same
kid.
human.
All right, D-Bone, let's go. You said you looked inwards and said you did treat him wrong. You weren't supportive enough of.
I think we were pieces of shit to John.
Why?
I don't think I necessarily was.
No,
I
you
never
were.
Spoke ill of John in my life.
What a mark.
But as
dude.
fans, I think we are to blame.
You think the IWC potentially, is that who you're talking about, the internet wrestling community, or you're talking about all wrestling marks?
No, absolutely, everybody.
Because nobody respected his jorts long or gave him enough
He
credit?
just could never do anything right. We always wanted him heel. We got him heel. Now we hate him, just like he said.
Oh, jeez. Okay, Bone. John Cena's got a right in the palm of his hand. He's going to buy the merch.
Yeah.
John Cena went out there and said, don't you even think about buying a new merch. Okay? You get no new shirt. You get no new intro music. You get nothing for what you've done. And D-Bone's like, holy fuck, I never thought about it. We did mistreat Cena. He was a superstar through and through.
He was.
And what do we say? Cena sucks just for fun.
Not fun now.
We got our laughs in.
It's the last time is now, too. So this time I'll remember him forever. Is the guy who just was mad at us for supporting him?
I guess so.
Did you ever ask him how he's doing backstage or anything?
All the time.
Huh.
Thank you.
I think it was one of the first things I said.
You could say.
No, every time I saw him, I said, holy shit, it's John Cena. That's literally. I guess that is kind of treating him like he's not a human there.
Well.
Jeez, I'm part of the problem.
The guy killed Osama bin Laden.
He announced Osama bin Laden was dead. Yes, that is accurate.
Yeah, he gave the order.
Yeah.
It's different.
He was watching from the Oval Office.
Said Vince, can I use your
situation
office real
room.
quick? Yeah.
What's going to go on with that Intercontinental title? Did you see Penta snooping around?
Yeah. Boy, Dom fucked up too. What else is new?
Well, that's Dom. Dom and Finn are certainly at odds a little bit.
They are a bit.
Last week, Dom got him a title shot. This week, they're back to. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that Judgment Day.
Me neither.
It's time to judge him.
Today.
Judgment disarray.
Ooh.
Aren't we judging properly? Yeah, I think so. I don't know how Dom is allowed in all these countries anyway, you know?
Same.
You think somebody would say, no.
He's got to be on a
No
list.
scumbags.
Well, actually, over there.
What list?
Was CM Punk out there? I didn't see him.
Phil?
I saw
What?
CM Punk.
Chick Magnet.
Excuse me. Sorry.
I saw Seth Rollins.
Yep.
But they were still saying Seth freaking Rollins.
That's weird.
That was an update from a website. Lost the freaking from the website. If the report, what I read, was accurate.
Sure.
I haven't gone to a website in a long time. Getting a treadmill. Getting a new treadmill. Big deal. Speaking of websites I've been to. Went to a website.
Yes.
Getting a treadmill. Very excited about it. Going to be able to run again without all the...
Is it like a little more cushion?
It's a... it's
You
like
got the zero G.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like the rehab treadmill. That's sweet.
Have you heard about this?
I've seen it. Yeah, I've done it back in the day.
Loved it?
It takes the weight off. Yeah, like after you get, your knee surgery, you get in there and they say, like, okay, you'll be running with 25% of your own weight right now, and you work your way up.
Yeah, and I guess there's full workouts. They have like full...
Oh, that'd be great. You could open it up, too, and run fast.
Bingo, yeah. I think so. I think there's a chance. Now, with how fat I've got and how many knee things I've had and how much I ran with soccer and kicked balls, which is just knee shit, sprinting and running is not the most fun. But I do miss the feeling of running. So I'm trying to combat that, trying to figure that out. Found this company. We're going to make it happen. Now, it might be an overpriced waste of...
It won't be.
That's
You'll
TBD.
just be getting strapped in. You need some help getting strapped into that thing.
No, all self.
Oh, good. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, you just got to zip. I think you just got to zip. And then you're in. And then this thing
That'd be
activates.
sweet.
Allegedly, some super genius created it to do the opposite, from what I've been told. So they wanted to add gravity to something for a workout, I believe, is what somebody... And then either the son of the creator or somebody around the creator was like, can we invert the gravity in there? And they did. And then all of a sudden now they're in every building, basically. Every single rehab facility. So it's like super geniuses figuring something out. I assume that super genius wanted to, I don't know, maybe hit hills? I don't know what would, why would you want more gravity?
Work on speed.
Trying to film something that you show people that say, hey, we were here.
You want to learn how to run on
Shut your fucking mouth.
Run on Mercury?
Oh, interesting.
Oh, you're saying the moon landing, they did this entire thing?
That was anti-gravity.
When was this technology created?
1990.
Yeah, so way after.
I don't know.
Nice try, dickhead.
I think the moon landing is real. We did it.
Okay.
We made it.
Okay.
I do. I really do.
Do you?
Hey, you know what? I'd like to look into it a little bit more. Everything I see really makes me wonder, but feels like my algo is looking for me to wonder, especially if Seth Greenberg is going to be screaming the word conspiracy.
Yeah.
On this show. Just conspiracy. My phone's listening, okay? Turn this fucking Siri on, first time ever. Turn it on.
Uh-oh.
It's listening anyways, I knew. Because we'd be talking about something, I open my phone, all of a sudden that thing is on my phone. First time ever, it's like, I never turned you on. How the fuck did you know that?
Interesting.
Oh, you're listening without me. Oh, maybe I'll be able to sue you. Okay, that'll take 10 years, and nothing will happen. So it's listening, okay? And this smartphone needs to get smarter. I agree. I'd say my smartphone is low part of class whenever it comes to intelligence.
Sure.
I'd say, as a whole. But, yeah, this fucking thing, Wad. Hey, let's put this in.
Come on.
Yeah.
For the people. One throw only.
Okay.
One shot.
You got this.
One shot in a moment.
Just let it fly. Don't even think.
How many people were, no, way too many.
Yeah, not that.
Whoa. Got 4 people playing tonight. Got 4 teams playing tonight.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's wait.
Yeah, let's.
4 people.
Now's not time. Let's go 25 people.
Okay.
$500. All I'll have to do is make this Duke a little softer, easier to throw and catch probably,
Definitely.
and hold on to.
Yeah, science.
Harder to kick, but everything else kind of probably.
Do you want to know why that happened?
to this ball?
Yeah.
Because in this Thunderdome.
Oh, yeah, because it was inside and it's been really warm out. And then since the weather gets colder, air particles come closer together when it gets colder.
Got it.
So scientifically, it was proven that balls deflate when it gets colder.
Oh, okay. So it's like when wood is in, because the molecules.
Sure.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah, molecules. There you go.
Well, anyways, it is softer. It makes it easier to hold on to, throw, catch, that whole thing.
Yep.
All those stats probably go up with this particular pressure ball, if I had to guess. I'm not saying it was done on purpose. Science, definitely.
Well, all balls. They didn't test any of the balls on the other team. What team was that?
That was the team I was on.
Okay. How many points did you guys score?
I don't remember. But
10. I think we had like 4 rushing touchdowns. So I don't know. Again.
Who scored all this? Was that
LeGarrette Blount?
Oh, yeah. I still see him running.
Like 180.
I was standing at the end. I was standing at the end of the box, down there. This way.
Yeah, he had a big day.
And I just walked.
You had 3 tuds.
And he's just still running. Holy fuck. Go down the other side. Holy shit. We should tackle that guy. We didn't.
No. It's hard to that year.
And then we got it rubbed in our face because there was a Deflategate that was happening. And we were just trying to move on with our lives. Everybody talk about everybody else. Instead, the boys and I got just buried. And I was such a low member of the team that obviously I'm not saying I got buried, but we were reminded of the outcome of that game. Like, a lot.
Team got buried for sure. Logo got buried.
Yeah, and the performance.
The game tape.
And they haven't even
Can't believe Tom got suspended for that.
Oh, yeah.
2 years later.
2 years later, which led to another
Yeah.
Super Bowl, but and the Colts haven't even sniffed that game since.
Colts are back this year. Remember, I'm
This
optimistic.
the year.
Yeah.
This the year.
T-Bud had talked to me. All the blogs had talked to me. They had to remind me, why not believe? You're right.
Yeah, Dan Jones has a lot of Andrew Luck in him.
Not just Dan Jones. There's quarterback competition, open competition.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. They're going to bring out the best in each other. That's what competition does.
True. At least this is the first year that you guys have had like a quarterback carousel thing, and this hasn't been going on for like 6 years.
I know everybody's going to point to Matt Ryan and Carson Wentz and Phillip Rivers and Jacoby Brissett and everything like that, but we also had some good days too.
It's just easy to
remember Unitas?
Yeah, it's an easy time to get behind
we
the
all
Colts.
do.
Played for the fucking Colts.
Yeah. Ring a bell.
Fran Tarkenton. Was he a Colt?
No.
He's a Viking.
One of the best.
Of course, at the time, yeah. And when we're talking Vikings football, we'll definitely talk about Frank.
He's one of the goats.
Who's going to play for the Vikings? AJ, do you know anybody?
I wish I knew.
We all do.
Will you call him and just tell him, hey, what are you doing?
I'd like to. Yeah.
Code FaceTime right now. You can do it.
There you go. Do it.
Passon's phone overheated.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That's what he just said.
Did he start the car? Did he not have the car
You think
running?
he does chemical peels or something? His skin was glowing.
He always looks good, though. Remember the?
Yeah.
And
He's young, isn't he?
I think he's older than we think because of how young he looks. I believe. Just like Les Snead said he was in his 50s. What the fuck are these people all on?
Yeah, I know. What are you
Passing
doing?
is
He looked great.
62.
Oh, okay.
Okay, 44.
Okay.
If he was 62, that tree branch would have killed him.
Yeah, you're right.
I forgot he's come back from
He broke his back.
near-death experience.
Well, it's because Kirchner was standing next to him and he held it up.
Yeah, you're right.
Kirchner went under
You're
and
right.
picked it up.
Yep.
Yeah. What do you say?
Yeah, what?
Crawl out, Jet! Crawl out! I can hold it for the rest of the day! And he's still holding it. Like a yard gnome, just sitting underneath the fucking thing.
Talk about
Like we're
having
the-
that bar
like
on your
we're-
spine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was like his kind of workout, wasn't it?
Yeah.
People
Yep.
would walk into the gym and they'd see him and he'd just be in the corner racking it, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long's he been covering baseball?
Fucking 50 years. 45 years, 50 years. I don't
Since
know.
Babe Ruth.
Has he had the same voice the whole time?
As long as I've known him, yeah.
How do you hit that? That's like rivalries with Coach Izzo yesterday.
Yeah, you just got to dig down in there and find it.
Because it's worthy, because he's an icon.
Exactly. One of the goats.
What did it go?
This is for him.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
What would he say in this moment right here?
Wing it back and fire that son of a bitch into the hoop.
He would say that.
Yeah.
Gertrude would say son of a bitch.
He would. He's a fiery fella.
Shout to him, shout to baseball. Shout to the 25 people that win $500 if I make this throw. Uh-oh. Oh. Ooh. All right, one shot. This is for the Indiana Pacers, okay, who have been dancing with destiny, seemingly becoming a team that has been blessed by the basketball gods in the second half of this particular season. Obviously, a few weeks ago, we remember Tyrese Halliburton hitting the shot of the year and one 4-point play to beat the Bucks. Well, how about last night against the Minnesota Timberwolves? Obviously, Tyrese is out. Mathurin's out. We got T.J. McConnell and the boys battling on the road. Take it to the rack, T.J. McConnell. Yinzer. Give me that. And then Obi Toppin just goes,
What?
second best shot of the year, maybe best shot of the year candidate from the corner, just like Tyrese. Somebody in his face. Splash. We win, you lose in overtime. Don't look now. The Pacers are getting hot. Now, they got to get healthy. They certainly have to do that. But the Pacers have maybe a team of destiny feel with these shots falling for them at very, very key, important times. We cannot underestimate that whenever it's going forward. Knicks, Celtics, Cavs.
You don't have to say the Knicks.
What?
No, you don't have to say the Knicks.
So the East is Celtics, Cavs, and Pacers?
Yeah.
Knicks are in third.
Yeah, they're in
Safely in third.
Okay, so I did my research.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, the standings, you're right, but the team, like, they don't have.
Knicks just can't beat anybody good.
Yeah.
Oh, they got no quad one wins?
Write us off.
quad.
Write us off. We
You
won't.
already have.
We won't write back. You already have.
The good thing is Karl Anthony Towns always delivers when the pressure's on the
Didn't
the
they
biggest.
just beat
but-
the Heat last night? They just beat the Heat
Yeah,
last night.
The Heat are 4-19 in their last 23. But the Pacers are playing their best ball at the most important time, so that is huge for them going into the playoffs.
I still believe in the Knicks, Bruce, just strictly because of the battle last year with the Pacers that I paid very close attention to. They got a lot of moxie over there. I don't know if they're going to be able to survive. That was kind of the conversation last year. Now they're playing more minutes, but I do like the moxie of that Knicks team.
We'll be healthier this year, but it is certainly a work in progress, and have not beaten, the Celtics, the Cavaliers, the Thunder,
the Warriors.
We have beaten the Pacers. I think we're 2-1 against the Pacers.
Okay. Don't love that. How many quad one wins we got? A bunch.
Yeah, Celtics.
You got a ton.
Certainly. Cavs are the team, right?
Yeah, Cavs and Thunder are like head and shoulders above everybody in the regular season.
Oh, yeah. I've seen OKC's been on primetime the last a few times here in the last week.
They're both already north of 50 wins. They both already clinched the playoff berth, I believe. So it's them two, like one seeds locked in, home court and everything, but we'll see.
And what did Sean said about a week? When was that? 2 days ago? 3 days ago? He said about another week left for LeBron.
Yeah, he said that Sunday.
Yeah, so that's a big deal. The week for LeBron because them obviously and Luka's going crazy. Austin Reeves going crazy.
Mhm.
Austin, they got some exciting whites over there at the Los Angeles Lakers.
Dalton Connect.
Yeah,
Is he
Luka,
back?
Obviously,
I believe
back.
so.
He's been playing.
Because he was.
The NBA's not. Hey, I'll turn on a
No,
game at night.
if you find yourself, like my kids love watching the Warriors, but they don't kick off till 10 p.m. usually because it's out there. But yeah, man, I enjoy watching them. I enjoy watching the Lakers. Like whatever game is on, if you actually pay attention, it's like, oh, this is pretty sweet.
Jimmy Butler, Golden State.
Yeah.
His hair was sweet.
Yes.
I think they played last night on. Was it last night or 2
Yeah.
nights ago?
They lost last night. Russ triple-double.
Russ is awesome to watch. He still doesn't really have a three-point shot, but he is kind of coordinating a lot of shit.
They let him.
Nuggets didn't have
take outside
anybody.
shots.
Joker was out last night. Jamal Murray was out last night. They still beat the Warriors.
Russ was running shit there for the time that I was watching the game. It was awesome to see. I'm like, hell yeah. Russ loves
He plays so hard, man. Russ plays so hard. Like I point to him like, hey, look, he may not make a bunch of outside shots, but this dude is moving all game.
People are trying to make him a villain there for a while. That dude just fucking loves ball, I think.
The bug starts with March Madness. The basketball will continue to be great, and then it'll roll right into the NBA playoffs.
Pacers winning the NBA title?
Boom.
It's on me. Oh, no. Oh, fuck. Just short. All right. Another finals appearance. I guess that's the way it's going to go. Bonus ball. Bonus ball. Bonus ball. Bonus ball.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Turn left ball. No. It feels like we got a little. What the fuck?
Undulation?
Yeah, some undulation, bit of a slope.
What was that?
A little bit. I don't know.
Did you see that thing? Speaking of undulation, the Masters is happening soon. Oh, buddy. Day after big night at the Masters start. And they put out a video this morning, and it is, celebrating the history of the course.
Good video.
Great video. And all the magical moments are there and how pumped all the patrons get and how everybody is not allowed to have their phone out. It's like, that's a thing that I hope and I think it will, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But I hope everybody continues to, treat it as such. Yeah. Yeah. I may have got to golf here before. It's pretty wild. I mean, I suck at golf. It would have been much more fun if I was better at golf. But I got a chance to see a lot of the shots that people fucked up on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, in the pine trees here. Okay, hey, back in the woods here. Okay, hey, this is where, Rory went with his drive. Now, he was able to blah, 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 and I stayed in the woods for another 2.
Sure.
But I'll tell you what, down there at the A-Man.
Oh.
Lived out a couple birdie putts. You gotta really perform at the time. But the place is beautiful. There is a sense of greatness and tradition in the air, in the way that course is kept up. New trees coming in and out overnight. The greens being perfect.
Yeah,
fairways
pristine.
perfect. Everything's just perfect. It's like that place is cared for. And I think the golf world really appreciates it. Can't wait to watch that. The players got me pretty excited. Did not like that it carried into Monday.
No,
that was dumb.
The rain delay kind of sucks, but that's Florida. It's going to rain in Florida. That's kind of how it works. So it not finishing on Sunday, I think, was not great. I think it going into Monday morning kind of lost the sizzle. Almost, and I don't want to say this because I think soccer has an opportunity. It had a soccer feeling on Sunday. Like, okay, 2 guys tired. Now they're going to play Monday morning. It's like, all right.
And we all knew what was going to happen on Monday, but we still had to watch.
Spawn even knew.
Yeah, he did.
We did.
Spawn even. Rory McIlroy said he watched a little Devil Wears Prada, ordered some room service, and went to bed. He woke up at 3 a.m., he said. So he said he hadn't been nervous in a while. So Rory was a little nervous, he said, for that entire thing. I couldn't even imagine Spawn. Rory's been there, done that. Rory openly admitted, very nervous. And then I think Spawn saw that for the first time during the press conference. He was watching in the back. He was like, I thought it was going to be short. And that thing just kept floating. He said, it's like that juiced up, Like you get juiced up in those moments. Everything's a little bit different, especially when everything comes to how hard you hit something. It's crazy.
Yeah, he said in that when he was watching the press conference, he almost yelled "go" because he thought it was going to be so short. And when the wind's like that and you got a 10-foot area to hit, that tournament, it's finished. Not finished on Sunday was tough, but we're officially in it. We're in a good spot here as far as sports right now.
Yeah, I think off-season sports, we're all in.
Oh yeah,
good for us.
You guys know Coop is bashing dudes' faces in Righteous Gemstones, the show?
I heard he had a spectacular performance. I saw a lot of commercials for Righteous Gemstones. Feels like they're really promoting this.
Yeah.
Happy it's back. Shout out to Kenny Powers and squad. Yeah, Cooper's in the first episode, right?
Yep.
Colonial Foot Soldier.
I've seen some of it. Yeah, man, he's ruthless. He's doing great.
Well, Cooper will do what you need him to do.
Hell yeah.
That's why he's an artist. You need him to give a speech, rally the boys right before the Super Bowl?
He'll do it.
No problem.
Yep, no problem.
No problem. You need him to be in the suite, talking to the owner, whenever things looking a little sketchy? No problem.
He'll do it.
Need him in the post-Super Bowl party, bringing the vibes. He'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you need a cheesesteak, he'll cook it himself.
That's right.
He's making it.
That's Bradley Cooper. What the hell he's doing? I haven't talked to him in a while. I think he's very busy.
Where's his bread? Where's he get his bread from? I would imagine the bread is a huge part of that.
Philly. He gets it from Philly. So, the place that he used to eat at, I don't know if it's Danny's or the place that he used to eat at in Philly, they were shipping him shit. Remember what he said?
Yeah.
And he would be cooking it himself, so then he made it a thing. So it's probably considered a franchise or offshoot of that particular. I tried to do it with Rudy's there for a bit just because I wanted their Italian sub. Like, hey, how do I get you guys just to ship me the ingredients and then I'll cook it myself? And then here's Bradley Cooper and Righteous Gemstone. He's fucking.
There is a company that does that for restaurants.
Belly? Something Belly?
Is that what it is?
Golden Belly?
Yeah, that sounds right.
What?
Gold Belly.
Yeah.
I've never used it, but.
Great. My wife gets hams from places and New York this and you can get some Texas this. And it shows up with the, what's the cold ice?
Dry ice.
The dry ice. It's like a whole thing. Yeah, I think that's a good app. I think it's only for big things, situations, though.
Makes sense.
Is Rudy's on Gold Belly?
Should be. Should be.
Come on. Nick, why don't you call him and tell him to get on fucking Gold Belly? Can you do that?
They need to. They make a killing.
Just in this office.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get the hell out of here. What a day today. The madness begins tonight, AJ. Who are you picking in these games? Let's do this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's do this. I'm picking Alabama State to beat St. Francis, and I'm picking San Diego State to beat UNC because basketball gods are going to do their thing.
Okay.
Who do you got?
I will take Alabama State to win, and I will also take North Carolina.
Okay, we'll take favorites the whole
Chalk.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, let me guess.
Point favorites.
Let me guess. Tomorrow you want American. Okay, you got it, and we'll give you Xavier too.
No, I'll take Mount St. Mary's and Xavier tomorrow.
Okay, I'm going to take American University for sure, just strictly because I know what is that. I don't know what American University is, but it sounds like a place.
They're a good ball club. Very good this year.
Okay, yeah, of course they are. I'm just learning of them. Would like American University do well, especially now. We need them. Okay, so I'm going to pick that. I'll save my picks for tomorrow.
Sure.
AJ said he's picking an underdog tomorrow, though. Maybe. We don't know if that's true.
Yeah, doubt it.
I'll stick with him. Is that where Sister Jean is? She Mount St. Mary's?
No.
Loyola.
Texas is live there tomorrow, 3.5.
What's the one where everybody's hammering? There's one where a lot of people feel good about it. I got a text from, I don't know if I'm on a list or something. I got a Stu Feiner text message, and he basically teased. Let me see the wording that he sent. I haven't talked to Stu in years.
So Colorado State is favored by 2.5, and they're a 12 seed against a 5.
Okay,
Memphis is the 5.
There's a game on Friday that is lineage wager. Okay. Hashtag be advised.
Lineage.
That is a lineage wager, is what I was just told. So, hilarious text to get. I don't know if that's a tease. Like, am I getting the follow-up on Friday?
Oh, okay. You probably pay for the follow-up.
Colorado State, Memphis is on Friday, so that might be it. Everybody seems to be on Colorado State.
We'll see what
Seth just said. Penny has the boys rolling, though.
Yeah, I love that Memphis team. I don't understand how they're dogs against a 12 as a 5 seed. But
have you seen much of Colorado State?
Not too much, no.
I guess I can put it in a bucket.
I've watched a lot of Memphis, though. I like Memphis.
You're not supposed to understand this is March.
Well said. This is March.
It isn't.
Anarchy.
It's just.
Okay, yep.
College basketball.
Yep, college basketball. Yep.
Shout out to
Johnny Rothstein.
Oh, okay, yes.
What? You don't know the Rothstein? We know.
No,
Rothstein.
I do. Now I get the saying. I didn't.
It's not anarchy.
Yeah, it's just college basketball. Yeah. This is March.
Well, it's January, February.
March.
Izzo.
His wife said that he just walks around their place in New York just saying, "This is March. This is March."
Rothstein?
Yeah, Rothstein's wife. So she'll just hear him saying to himself, like in the bathroom, "This is March. This is March. This is March. This is March."
And she smacks him in the face, and then he stops for a second. Yeah, and then he'll do it again like an hour later.
Yeah.
Smack him in the face
Guy
again.
loves college ball.
Yeah.
His entire gimmick is countdown to college ball.
Yeah. Correct.
And then in college ball, we're in college ball. He loves it.
And
He
then
was on the show right before?
He was, yep.
There's a reason he's so into it. I forget what it is. There's some coaching maybe? I forget what it is.
I don't know.
He's been obsessed with it for a long time, though.
Yeah, that and wrestling are really like his two things. Because remember, he just had like WrestleMania references from like the
Yes,
mid-80s. And
Jurassic Park as well. Big Jurassic Park fan.
Really?
I mean, you don't have time for a lot whenever college basketball is 24/7, but not the newest one. What was the newest one? World.
Jurassic World, yeah.
Yep.
That one was kind of shite, right?
With the bugs, yeah.
Yes, new one coming out again though.
This one.
Chris Pratt in?
What?
No, he's not. ScarJo. Scarlett Johansson's in it.
ScarJo and Mahershala Ali, actually.
The trailer was pretty solid.
Is it cicadas catching on fire?
I doubt it. The script was so good that
Chris Pratt said
it's too good.
No, it was Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell,
said, yeah.
that's what it was.
Script's too good. I don't want to ruin it.
That's not,
So that
that's
makes
not
you think-
exactly what he said.
That's what he said.
The script is so good, I can't see a role for myself in here.
So, interesting. That's a hell of a way to turn down a role. I love that is something. I didn't know that happened, but maybe he just didn't think he fit in the movie. Does that take place?
No, maybe he hates it. Maybe he thinks it's god awful.
That's what I'm saying. That's a hell of a way to turn
Exactly.
something down there. But also maybe he thinks it's going to be so good, doesn't want this to be the rest of my life.
Could be that. Sometimes actors too are just
Yeah,
like,
why would you want that?
this just doesn't seem right for me. I don't want to do this.
Some of these actors don't want to be just one character forever, brother.
You're right. But I mean, they all want to get part of a franchise that you can make multiple movies, and that's when you get the huge money.
Yeah, I guess with Glenn Powell, he's supposed to be the next in Top Gun, right? Whenever it goes.
Yeah, I guess you don't want to be typecast as that Jurassic Park guy. I get it.
I wouldn't mind being, I think it'd be cool to be a Jurassic Park guy. Tone would fucking love it.
I mean,
yeah,
Dr. Grant did it for years and years and years, and Ellie Sadler and all the
What's going on with the superheroes? We got any of those coming out anytime soon? What happened to them? There was a little
Hopefully
bit of
not.
Whoa.
What is a superhero movie? Well, I haven't seen. I speak out of ignorance because I have not seen any of them.
Well, you definitely saw the Avengers thing. You
no
definitely
chance.
saw it.
No, which one are the Avengers?
So that was the only one I watched. If you do recall, this is a few years back. I knew none of the actual superheroes, but I watched the one where they all came together.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Avengers, right?
Correct.
Okay, Marvel Avengers, I believe, was the movie. I had no idea the backstory of any of them. Okay, and that was a little bit of that was an interesting thing. I actually tweeted along while I was watching it, complimenting some of these people, and obviously I guess it was all very well-known shit, but I had quite an experience. I mean, it was a fantastic movie. I mean,
you enjoyed it. Oh, okay.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Endgame?
And then the next one, I was asked, remember this whole thing?
Yep.
I was told that I knew the spoilers, and I spoiled it, because at I watched the Avengers, only thing I ever watched, and then I was asked down at Super Bowl Radio Row how I think Endgame goes, and I was just like, easy. This is an easy one to figure out. In the Avengers, they were just trying to get the rocks. So you just get all the rocks, and then you have all the power. That is the game. And then old buddy
Iron Man
gets all the rocks.
does the thing. Like, that was the entire movie. And that just felt like a very easy fucking thing. I got these people attacking me. They were calling me a spoiler and saying that I ruined a movie and all this shit. I knew next to nothing about any of this shit. I'm just literally my thoughts after watching one movie. So I will say this. Nick, super into the superheroes. I think Ty, you do not get into it.
I used to be. I couldn't give two shits about it now.
But there are people that like love it. And after watching that Avengers movie, I understood. I'm like, this is fucking, the amount of money they spend on stuff, it was sweet. Like, I really enjoyed it. But I guess a lot of them have done poorly. Right? Isn't that kind of the new
they
thing?
replaced all the main original actors mostly pretty much because contracts run up. And like you guys were talking about, people just got kind of tired of playing the same role for years and years and years. They made all their money. They did all these movies. And so they tried to turn it over to like newer, younger, different actors that it has not hit in the same
So
realm.
it's a next generation of all these superheroes has kind of become the issue?
Pretty much, yeah. There's a couple of them that, like Chris Hemsworth still does some stuff from time to time, and he's got some other
He's great.
He's the guy that plays Thor, but like
Spider-Man.
Even the last Thor movie didn't do well. I think everyone just got fatigued.
Yeah, because there was a bunch of them there. Boom, bang.
Downey's back, though.
Huh?
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr.'s back.
As Iron Man?
No, that's someone
different
else.
guy.
But,
He's used to
Who's
be-
the next Iron Man?
I don't
He
know.
died.
I don't know if there will be. These used to be like events, though. Like, it'd be like there was one movie that was coming out a year, and now there's so much of it, and there's like a new series all the time. Like, I think they kind of just hit people over the head with it so much that people are like, fuck this. Like, it's just too much. I can't. You can't keep up with all of it anymore.
All right. Well, I hope it comes back for you, Nick. I do.
I don't think it's gonna.
Whoa.
That's all right. We had it. We had a good run there. All things must come to an end.
He doesn't think it's ever coming back.
Well, I think you also get to a point where it's like, I'm 35. I don't really give a shit about this stuff anymore. You know? When I was 18, yeah, it was pretty cool. Seeing Iron Man. You know, now it's like.
Good storylines in here.
Great.
I don't give a fuck about this crap.
This is for the superhero business.
Okay.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Here we go.
Yes.
Nice.
Still alive.
Thank
Still
you,
alive.
Pat. Thank you.
That's huge.
We got an opportunity. Even better at 37. All right. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. We're in this thing together. We'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, team on me. Great work thus far, boys. We're off Thursday, Friday. Remember that. So tomorrow is a Friday. Attitudes shall reflect that. And we will launch into a March Madness like you've never seen before. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3. Team. Goodbye.